What is up, my good people of the internet? Dan Tortora hanging out with you here where sports truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate your patience here this morning as we got you set and ready to go from the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill Brew House coming to you on 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey, New York, right in the rolling hills of central and upstate New York. And their newest location at Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, where we just were a few days ago with our most recent live broadcast on-site, on location with CNS Athletics. We had the boys and girls swimming and diving teams. We had a fantastic show. One of the most watched, actually, the most watched show ever that we've done there. So shout out to you all for that, for being with us on the internet. And of course, to those of you that came out to the broadcast itself to Heritage Hill, thank you so much. Today we are back with Murph. It's been a minute since we've had Murph here. Murph's been golfing, poor him, and I have been out in Texas and North Carolina. So Murph and I had a couple weeks here as I was giving you, and we're going to continue those specials this week, by the way. We have so much going on with coaches and student athletes, so buckle up because college football season is fast approaching. And my conversations with teams from all over the country and multiple states are continuing this week. So make sure that you stay tuned for that on our social media when you're going to see those interviews with the conversations with the student athletes and the coaches. So Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _ DT, and DT and Murphy is back to you inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Murph and I today talking about Major League Baseball in the second half of the season, the teams that are getting hot, the teams that might be cooling off, and where things are at here post All-Star break. Also, any of those Major League Baseball moves that stick out to the Murph man. And the college football playoff expansion is going to have its first season in effect this season and this week coming up. Very excited that I'm going to have the opportunity to speak with bowl representation for the college football playoff. Scotty Rogers, the Vice President of Communications for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, will be joining me, and the President and CEO of Peach Bowl Inc., Gary Stoken, who oversees the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, is going to be joining me as well. So this week is going to be full of college football playoff conversation, and two of those bowl games that are in rotation of the quarters and the semis are going to be in the spotlight this week. So make sure you don't miss a second of that. Murph and I are going to start the conversation today about it. And of course, we're going to get into GG Cards and Breaks Show and Tell. I got stacks on stacks. So I have so many stacks in the studio right now because I've been collecting over time and I got some stuff back. So I'm excited to be able to share this with you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And wherever you are, in New York, Pennsylvania, Florida, North Carolina, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the world, thank you for tuning in. And shout out to our newest partner, Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines. Murph's going to like this. If y'all go out to Pinehurst in North Carolina, you can get some Brooklyn Pickle, in my opinion, the best sandwich around. Get the Brooklyn Pickle and then go golfing at Pinehurst. Nothing wrong with that. Let's bring Murph into the show. Murphalation for the nation. Look at that picture-in-picture. That man is ready to go. He's had a couple weeks. He's grown out his beard a little bit more. He's gotten older, wiser. Murph, how are you?
I am well, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a journey. I don't think you know this, but when I was down in North Carolina, well, when I started in Texas, I'll make a long story short. I left on a Sunday to get into Dallas for the event on Monday. I was like, I'm going to get in at, 10 a.m.? I was like, I'm going to get in at 10 a.m. I'm going to be able to relax in Texas. I got in at 11 p.m. because this was like during the glitch time, so I got in 13 hours later. No luggage. The whole week without it. Came home. The luggage came in right after me on a flight that followed me. So I got a whole new wardrobe, got a new luggage bag, and the great thing about God is work-wise, it went off without a hitch. Like, if I didn't say anything, nobody would know. All my work was done, my conversations, all that stuff was in. I had pre-planned a bunch of things that were set and ready to go. And, yeah, and I got a new wardrobe out of it. So if you had lost your luggage for a week and you were broadcasting, how do you think Murph would respond?
I would probably flip out. Not gonna lie, I probably would. No, but in all seriousness, though, it's the people you'd be flipping out on. It's not their fault.
Right.
It's the airline's fault.
Right.
Right? It's not those particular people's fault. It's probably the people back at Syracuse Airport that's whose fault it is. Um, but to go back for a second, I want to state it for the record. I have not been growing out my beard.
Oh, okay.
The barber always cuts it when I get my hair cut. So
It looked a little
I'm
thicker.
on 2 weeks right now. So I mean, it's been growing out since he cut it, since he trimmed it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so although I got to find a new barber now because my barber just moved to Florida. Again, that's two barbers in the last 2 years that have moved to South Florida. So yeah, so I gotta go do some research and hunting for a new barber here in the next few weeks. But yeah, it's that must have been interesting, I'm
It was.
sure.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'm glad everything is good now. You got everything back now, I assume, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything came back.
Okay.
So the funny thing is, Murph, when you're like, I got a barber and they moved to Florida, and then I got a new one and they moved to Florida. I'm gonna blame you for that because while you were sitting in that barber chair, you probably talked to them about the state of the country, and they're like, "You're right, Murph. I should go to Florida." So, with all due respect, it's probably your fault that they moved.
Well, not the last time I sat in the barber chair, but 2 times ago I sat in the barber chair was right after I found out that President Trump was nearly assassinated.
Oh well.
I was literally driving to how everybody remembers where they were on 9/11 and everybody remembers where they were when Kennedy was shot.
Yeah.
I was literally driving to my barber's house to get my hair cut
Yeah.
when you texted me. So, yeah, that was I think that was that last Monday that we were on for a while. So that was a while ago.
Yeah. It was July.
Um,
So it was July 13th, which means July 15th was that Monday.
yeah. I think that's the last Monday we were on because then you were in Texas and then I had the boys up to play golf and now we're here. That was
Good.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. And yeah, I mean that, like you said, you remember where you were. I watched it live. I mean,
Hmm.
and I was laying there with Lily, just looking at the TV, going, okay, that when there's a popping sound at a thing like this, there's no way that that's not what I think it is, but I don't want to believe that it is. And all the videos that have surfaced since then, and it's it's very sad. I will say this to you, Murph. I don't know if you watched this. If you did, you would have gotten really angry. I feel like I would have gotten a text message. But if you watched the now former director of Secret Service, when she was sitting there and they
Oh, I
were
did see it.
okay, when they were talking to her, I decided to watch that when I was in Arlington, Texas. I watched the replay of it at night. I want to say it was Monday night after like the first day of the AAC kickoff, and I watched it for hours. And I'm like, my lord, this human being is not answering like a. I was like, is this one of the girls I dated? Like answering no questions, giving no clarity, giving nothing, kept putting the buck off on the FBI. But the thing is, after a while, hours and hours of being interrogated, she started to trip. And she's like, oh no, the FBI told me. And it's like, so but you just don't want to tell us. And I just remember I
Hmm.
called my parents the next day. I'm like, if this person doesn't step down, I don't understand how you could keep a job. Like, how many people were working for you that day? I don't know. I would refer you to the document. I was just like, so I mean, I can tell you that going back and watching the post all this stuff, it would make I think it would make any person with common sense a little bit angry.
Yeah, I mean, I watched parts of that, but it's bad when AOC is questioning her and is 100% right and asking these great questions to the Secret Service director, and I'm like, I hate this chick, but damn, she is spot on right now.
Well,
She was
it was bipartisan.
spot on with what she was saying.
Yeah.
with how she was questioning the dude, the girl, the chick.
I mean, if we can learn
Um,
anything as a country, maybe we can have more moments where bipartisanship works because that
we should
day
have a lot more
it
moments
worked.
where bipartisanship works,
Yeah. Because,
because realistically, this country is so divided right now,
yeah.
and I think that event made it worse. But at the same time, it might have started to bring us together a little bit.
Yeah.
But who the heck knows? Because now we've got somebody running for the Democratic nomination that was never voted for by the people,
Yeah.
which I think is completely messed up. It's one of the most undemocratic things I've ever seen in my life. There's no primary for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I don't care that she's going to be the nominee, but the fact that people didn't get a chance to actually vote for a nominee, like, why are we not having, like emergency primaries next week or last week or whatever
Yeah.
with her, maybe Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, whoever the heck else was going to was going to run for president? Why did they not have a primary for that? Why are they not getting to vote? It makes no sense because they don't have a voice. And what's funny is the people on that side are okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like,
Well,
how are you okay with that?
because the media is owned by one side for the most part, and the thing that's frustrating, and I mean, people that are watching and listening, I know, I welcome people that vote for whoever you vote for, and whether it was Democratic, Republican, or whatever party, I think people should have an upheaval of this, an unelected candidate and an unvoted for candidate to be put. We call ourselves a democracy, and we're supposed to vote. And we went through all these primaries and all these things where we voted for a candidate, and that candidate doesn't exist anymore, which means that a new candidate should be voted for. I think they said like she's the first person to ever become a candidate without a single vote, who never won a single state. She still to this day has never won a state. So, and it's not a man woman thing, so get off of that, folks. It's not a Democrat Republican thing, it's a democracy thing. And the reality of democracy is that people's voices are supposed to matter, but in the case of Kamala Harris becoming a candidate, your voice did not matter. They did not care. They made a decision for you. They did a stamp of approval without even asking you what you thought. And we're less than around 3 months away, and there's no vice presidential pick yet. That's supposed to come in soon. So, I mean, we're seeing this rush to get all this stuff out there, and I'm just kind of shocked, but I'm not. I'm shocked because people should question this because it's not democracy. I mean, we start the Constitution off with "We the people," and we the people were not involved in this decision. But at the same time, when the media is, again, owned by one side for the most part, when narratives are pushed, I mean, think about it. This was an unfit candidate that they weren't going to put out there. Then it was the best candidate that they could find, and the media shifted that, and then people are like, oh, okay. And it was like a brainwashing. It's like the Mandela effect that people forgot that they were told this is not the candidate, and the moment they said this is the candidate, people treated it like a new candidate, which I find shocking, but not shocking, because when you ask the question and I ask the question, how can people shift their focus and forget all these things they were told? How can people be lied to so easily when the media is run by one side or one group or one whatever, and the majority of the media is perpetuating the same thing, the same lie? A lot of people are sheep, Murph. A lot of people follow. I said, if they said you could not get COVID if you wore a chicken suit, eBay would sell out of chicken suits in seconds.
Think of the toilet paper and the paper towels and all that stuff that got hoarded during COVID.
The paper towel, I mean, like the toilet paper thing, that thing was like, that was insane to me. I was like, at this point,
that made no sense.
Are they eating the toilet paper? So, but I mean,
Oh my God.
To
It
me,
made no sense.
I mean, Lysol made a lot of money, so shout out to them. But I mean, I think, and the thing is, and the sad thing is, I think a lot of people shy away from these conversations. Like some people might turn on Wake Up Call this morning and go, "Why is a sports show talking about it?" Because I live in a country where I have the freedom to start my own business. I have the freedom to do the things that I want to do, and decisions that have been made in the last few years have made business more expensive. I work with a lot of different businesses that have had to raise their prices reluctantly. And you see it. I see it. And I mean, to me, for someone who travels a lot, for someone who has to put gas in their car like everybody else, I don't have some rich benefactor that's going, here, start a business. I wasn't a trust fund baby. The son of two blue collar, amazing, hardworking people. And I am also a blue collar. So I feel like when people say, why talk about this stuff, and so many people get taboo about it, the reality of it all, Murph, is I care about my future. You care about yours. I care about the future of this planet. And I care about things that don't make any, there's things that don't make sense. Like I wanted to get a Tesla a few years ago. I wanted a Tesla. I thought they looked really cool. I wanted the doors that looked like the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And I was all about it. And then I was forced to. Not I did, not I was asked to. I was forced to accept an electric car from a rental company. I went into Jacksonville. I was covering a game. I was told you can either take this electric car or you can have nothing. And I had already paid for a regular car. And so I took the electric car, and before I left, the lady said, hey, just so you know, you have to plug it in. So you have to find a plug-in station. Here's an app to use to help you try to find one. And when you have a free 5 to 6 hours of your day, just sit with the car. And I thought to myself, if everything about electric cars were good except for the fact of this, how are you going to tell someone like myself who's working, who's only in town for like 2 or 3 days, that I'm going to have to bracket out time away from my family, away from my job, to sit with a car, to go find somewhere and then hope that they have it, and then go sit with the car for 5 to 6 hours? And I say, are you going to tell a family to do that at Disney? Hey, you're at Disney from Monday through Thursday. Well, on Thursday, don't go to Disney. Just sit with your vehicle. Or have the man do it and send his family to Disney and he can sit at the dealership. In what world does take 5 to 6 hours out of your vacation or work make sense to tell somebody? So why do I talk about this on the show? Because the media will go and tell you that something is great, but anyone on this planet that thinks their groceries are cheaper, thinks inflation is good, thinks the gas prices are good, thinks that racial unrest is good, thinks that societal stuff is good, thinks that teachers are actually teaching anymore. I mean, you can listen to the media, but common sense should tell you if you reach into your pocket today, you have less money than you had in the current state of America than you did if you put it up against 5 years ago, 7 years ago. If you go, hey, in 2017, this is how much it costs, and at the end of my bills, I had $150. Well, now it's probably $45. So I don't know why.
Or less.
Right. So in my opinion, I tell people this election is the election of common sense.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
It's what I don't get, though, is the people that don't think with their wallet. They think with their feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I care about money in my pocket. I can, had things gone differently in 2020.
Yeah.
And Trump got reelected, I wouldn't be living at home anymore. I wouldn't. I'd be wherever I am. No idea where. But I can't afford to move out because this president keeps taking our money. Whether it's inflation, whether it's the, gas prices going up or the cost of living going up. My generation cannot afford to live on their own. I would have to spend more than half of my take home just on rent.
Yeah.
More than half.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And then I'd have to pay electric bill and the water bill and the cable bill. And before you know it, I'm at $2,000, $2,100. I haven't even bought groceries yet.
Yeah.
I haven't even bought furniture yet. If someone's take home's $3,500 and their rent is $2,000,
Yeah.
you can't do it. You can't get a decent apartment for less than $1,600, $1,700 in where I live. You
Yeah.
can't. That's why I don't think I'm moving out until I move south. To be quite honest, because it is cheaper down there.
Well, and the tough
I'll
part,
go to North Carolina. I'll go to Florida. It's cheaper.
well, and yeah, and
Pennsylvania is one of the most expensive states to live in the country. Right up there with New York. Right up there with New Jersey. Right up there. Well, not up there with California, but California's in a league of their own.
yeah, basically, this is what I tell people: if California makes a decision, I do the opposite, and
Yes.
and that has nothing to do with politics. That has to do with that place has set itself on fire a billion times, and I don't even know why people listen to it. The college football situation of the fact that there's little to no parameters around name, image, and likeness started in California. So for those of you wondering, how does it all rope back to sports? Well, that's how. So, but Murph, I can, and here's the irony: some people vote blindly, and I don't. I have voted for Democrat candidates, I voted for Republican candidates, I voted for independent candidates and Green Party candidates, and so on and so forth, because I vote for who I think is the best, and I've done that my whole life. I've been able to vote, and so I take voting as a true honor, and I feel like people should, because the fact that you can vote and you don't vote, that to me is just shocking, because there's so many countries where people wish they had a voice, and I think in America we lose sight of a lot of things because we have so many freedoms that we don't really focus on the fact that there are a lot of places that have none of those. They're told who their candidate is. And like I said, this has nothing to do with parties. When you tell someone this is your candidate, you didn't vote for them, but this is who you got, and we've made the decision for you because we can make the best decisions for you, that screams Middle East to me. That screams Russia. It screams North Korea. It doesn't scream America. And that's why I think people should be upset about it, because it's not fair. I want Kamala to win fair and square. I want her to go like Trump did onto a stage with 15 people and 5 people, 2 people, 8 people, whatever, and do their thing and let people vote in primaries and have this thing be fair. Because as we get closer and closer to the election, there's issues with balloting, and there's issues with getting the candidates on the ballot, because there's a certain amount of time, because there's supposed to be checks and balances. And you talk about cost of living, Murph. My one of my good friends votes a certain way, and if you talk to him about it, he's got blinders on. And the thing that I find hilarious is he has these blinders on, yet he can't afford to move back to where he was a couple of years ago, and it's in New York. So he has to choose his college and the continuing of his education based on money and based on rent. And so I'm like, you're voting in this direction while also admitting that you don't have the money to pay for this, and you want to go back to school in New York, but you can't go back to school in New York because it costs too much, but you voted for that. So I always kind of ask people to pull back and go like, the state of your life is not where you want it to be, and it's not good, but you've told me flat out you're going to vote for it no matter what. So you're voting to pigeonhole yourself, and you're voting to punish yourself, where I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I think that America hasn't had a good candidate, arguably, in like 12 years in certain instances.
I think longer than that.
Right. So, because it's like, I like this person, but they're a bully. I like this person, but inflation sucks. And I think that where we have to come to as a country, and why we have to have conversations on a sports show or on anything, is that, and I'm not going to have somebody shut me up. So My thing is, we have to have conversations, Murph, and you and I do all the time, because I have Democrats that listen. I have Republicans. I have liberals. I have conservatives. I have people that don't vote. I have people that do vote. I have people that care about one thing and one thing only, and they're going to vote for whoever supports that thing, and they're going to not vote for the person that doesn't. And then I have people that keep their mind open every election. And to all of those people that are watching and listening, I think it's really important to understand your morals and your values. But to your point, what I don't understand is when people are easily manipulated and hypnotized, the one thing that should speak to everyone more than anything is money, because so many people care about, like the bottom line of like, what do I have? So what shocks me is when the media tells you all of these lies and you don't simply reach into your pocket, and when you used to have a $100 bill, now you have 47 cents of loose change in your pocket and you don't have the $100 bill. And I say to my dad all the time, I'm like, if people care about the dollar so much, why are they listening to the media, being manipulated by them, and not simply just reaching into their pocket? I said to my one buddy who was arguing with me about this, I said, do you pay less gas than I do? Because at the time, gas was $5. So I looked at him and I said, are you okay with this? Because it's not like you voted for this candidate so you get a discount on your gas. Like, this is what you chose to do. And that's your gas price. And before this, gas was $1.99. Now it's $5. And he said, well, gas has nothing to do with elections. And I was like, well, that's funny. So, like, I mean, you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, each American family has to say, do we have more money? Do we have less money? Do we like the state of this? I mean, in the state of California, they're seeking to detach children from their families. They're seeking to make decisions in schools that would give the school more control over your child than you do as a parent, and it's going to take away some of your rights as a parent. And any time that a parent is being stripped of rights from their own flesh and blood, that to you should scream like Nazi Germany. And that should be an easy decision. But Murph, what I'm concerned about in 2024 is it seems like common sense and easy decisions are not easy anymore. And it seems like people lack common sense. And I'm terrified of the fact that I can look you in the eye and say, I can like take $100 out of your pocket and say, it's still in your pocket. And there's people that'll go, okay. And I'm like, just put your hand in your pocket. It's not there.
I don't get it, man. And my big thing's not even about party, man. Like, I want to know why these people are okay with Kamala just being the candidate. I want to know what's going through their heads with this right now.
Yeah.
If, let's just say, God forbid, Trump would have been assassinated. Who's the candidate? Well, we have another primary.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it works. Right?
Yeah.
If Biden would have died before his term is over, God forbid, there would have been a primary. Kamala would have been the president, but there still would have been a primary. Or at least there should have been. That's the part that bothers me the most, is how are they okay with this? How and why are you okay with this? Do I think she's going to win? No, I don't. Because she was the least popular vice president in American history. There's no way she's going to get elected president. However, to your point, people, go in your pockets. You have less money than you did 4 years ago. Now, are things going to completely go back to the way they were in 2018, 2019, 2020? No, right? Inflation takes a while to settle back down. Gas prices will take a while to settle back down until we start drilling for oil and creating our own gas again. You know, cost of living may not go down as quick as we like.
Yeah.
It'll happen, but not by much.
Yeah.
The bottom line is we need this election people to think with their wallet and not with their feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care. Listen, I've said this all along. I don't care if you're an LGQPT, whatever. I don't care. If you want to do that, if you support that, whatever. You do you. Right? Don't think with your feelings about that. Think with your wallet. These people are claiming, that they're being discriminated against. No, you're not. We just don't care. They want to do these pride things and shove it down our throats. And like, listen, you do you. We don't care. We're not trying to take your rights away. But screw your feelings. Vote for what's going to help you with your wallet.
I mean, I
cost
tell
of
people
living has skyrocketed. The price of gas has skyrocketed. The
Yeah.
price of food has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Literally, you go to the supermarket to get eggs in a cart and a gallon of milk. It's like $6.
Yeah.
That used to be like maybe $3 and change.
Well, and that's like the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing is when you go to the grocery store and you buy, in my case, 6 items and it's $50. I bought milk, dog cookies, detergent, deodorant, cereal. And I remember getting to the end of this thing and I was like, the hell cost $57? Like, and it doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, it's like you said. I mean, it comes down to common sense, but it's the manipulation. It's the manipulation and the divisiveness, right? It's saying if you're black, vote here. If you're white, vote here. If you're gay, vote here. If you're straight, vote here. If you're Catholic, vote here. If you're Muslim, vote here. And that's what people don't understand is none of that is true.
And it shouldn't matter.
But none of that is true. None of it is true. Because we have a Catholic president that is the most un-Catholic person that I've ever seen on the planet. So, I mean, the reality of it, there's nothing about him that's Catholic. And I'm saying that as a Catholic. There's nothing about him that's Catholic. So the things that he stands for in his party are anti-Catholic. So it's one or the other. It's you go here, you go there. So, I mean, to me, John F. Kennedy, God bless him in heaven, John F. Kennedy was Catholic. And there were things that he did that were anti-Catholic, right? You cheat on your wife, that's frowned upon in the Catholic Church. So, which it should be. It's not an opinion. It's not a good thing.
Well, I mean, you broke one of the 10 Commandments.
Right.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right. So to me, we all of this is, and it makes me sad because my badge says media, but what this is, a lot of this is perpetuated by the media. And if you go back and you watch Wake Up Call years and years and years ago, I talked about this. I talked about like, why do people just follow blindly? I tell people, like, if I came to you right now and I said, the head coach of Syracuse football is Billy Crystal, most people would go, no, it's Fran Brown.
Oh,
and I'm like, no, it's Billy Crystal. And some people would go, if you think it's Billy, then it is Billy. And it's like, but
can I tell you a funny story about Billy Crystal?
Yeah, go ahead. But it's not Billy. And I love Billy, but it's not Billy.
So I had never heard of Billy Crystal until, you remember, this had to be 10 or 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
When the Yankees brought him out and let him play in a spring training game.
I don't remember that. When was that?
It was years ago. I don't remember exactly when it was. That's the first time I ever heard about Billy Crystal. I'm like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
It's like a late 50-something comedian. I'm like, okay, never heard of him. But apparently the Yankees let him come out to spring training and he played in a game. And I don't remember. I don't remember if he pitched or he hit or whatever it was. But it was funny. But that was my first. That was the first time I'd ever heard of Billy Crystal.
You freaking millennial right here, right, guys? I mean, how did you not know who Billy Crystal is? He's a Yankee. Well,
I'm technically a Gen Z.
I will,
unfortunately.
Well, this is the funny thing. I tell people I am not a millennial because apparently I'm on the cusp of it, and I told him I'm not.
I'm on the cusp too of Gen Z and millennial.
I said I'm a generation gaff. I told people I'm a generation gaff, GAF, the last generation that gave a. So, but that's, I mean, listen, I'm
in the common sense generation.
Right.
I am.
So,
well, because here's the thing. Most Gen Zers are these crazy kids these days. The ones that are still in high school or just graduated high school or in college.
Right.
For me, it's like millennials, I believe, stopped at 96 or 97. Any of the pre-2000 kids are like me. We're like that gap.
Yeah.
We don't identify with Gen Z. We are that middle ground of the common sense generation. For the most part.
Yeah.
Because you get all these Gen Zers these days that care about their feelings, or they decide that they want to identify as a furry or whatever the hell that means. And there's this TikTok of a kid. I don't know how old the kid is, but it's dressed as a fox, and it's doing this happy dance that its dad called him by its correct pronouns of fox self, or whatever the hell that means. And then it cuts to a guy that has like this bull nose ring in his nose. Looks over at his dad. He goes, "Hey, Dad, thanks for beating me as a kid."
I can tell you this, Murph.
That is Gen Z these days.
Well, if you want to make it really easy, this is what you do. If you believe you're a bear, dress up
live in the woods.
Dress up like a bear. Go into the bear-infested woods and see if the bear thinks you're a bear, and if the bear treats you like a bear. Because I can tell you pretty much, the bear is going to go, look at that very tasty human dressed in my costume. How dare they disrespect me? And the bear will still attack you. I mean, the reality of it all is if I dress like a lion and I growl in front of a lion, probably not going to be a good day for me. So,
nope. Probably your last day, too.
Right. Again, common sense. Common sense. I don't care
People
how
don't
old
have it
you
anymore.
Common sense. You know what my ex-wife said to me before we broke up? I'm going to tell you this, Murph. You didn't know her. This is going to be fun for you. She said to me, she goes, you really have to stop thinking that everybody has the same common sense. And I paused. I should have taped this as a TikTok. And I was like, she's like, different people have different common sense. Not everybody has the same common sense.
What?
And I looked at her and I went, then it would be called uncommon sense. Like that's.
Oh God, that's great. That would have gone viral, man. That would have so gone viral.
Like that would have been called. I mean, she's like, we don't have all. I was like, yes, we do. You're not supposed to go to the grocery store naked. Common sense. You're not supposed to go up to a shark and try to kiss it on the mouth. Common sense. There's common sense things. You're not supposed to, stand on the Eiffel Tower and, I don't know, serve potato, like try to sell hot dogs up there. No one's going to come up and buy them. There's common sense. I don't know why that was something that came to my mind, but there's maybe because
that's just funny though.
But there's no common sense. But the fact is, if she said that today in 2024, she would have like a faction of people
thrown for her
that would be standing behind her with picketing signs going, "We're uncommon, no common sense, hashtag I'm not common." And I'm like, but common sense is what keeps the country and the world together. Like, you're not supposed to murder. You're not supposed to steal. But if you say it in 2024, if I say you're not supposed to steal, people are like, well, what if I'm poor? And I'm like, stop. You're not supposed to. There's certain things. What did the 10 Commandments say? Thou shalt not kill. There was no asterisk saying, well, if you need to. There was no thou shalt not steal except for in these extenuating circumstances. It was thou shalt not commit adultery. But what if she's hot? No. There's no
doesn't matter.
There was no honor thy father and thy mother. Keep holy the Sabbath day. Like, there things that just thou shalt not covet anything that belongs to thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. There was simple rules that were put down. And then if people forgot those 10, there was this main one where they said, God so loved you, right? So the way that God loves you, the way that God sees you, treat each other that way. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. God loves you, love others with that love. Share that love, the golden rule. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I can have conversations with people that don't agree with me, because I'm like, if I come to the basis of you're a child of God, I'm a child of God, I can talk with anybody. The only time I will walk out of a conversation is when someone refuses to have an open discussion and just wants to scream at you that they're right. I don't do the fighting stuff. I did it in the past. I did the they yell, I yell, back and forth. And I don't have the energy now. If somebody comes up to me, and I forget the name of the woman that did it, but I love watching her stuff. And she had somebody ask her a question. They were supposed to ask her a question, and the person came up and said a statement. She's like, "This is what I am, and this is what I believe."
Candace Owens.
What'd you say?
Candace Owens.
Yeah, and she goes, "Congratulations,
Because
congratulations,
good for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, that's
Candace
a great statement.
Owens,
That's not a question.
Can I just state for the record right now that I think Candace Owens would be a phenomenal president of the United States?
I think she should run.
I want her to run, dude. I want her to be vice president and then president or whatever. Right? People think that just because I won't vote for the two women that have been nominated for president, that I don't want a woman to be president. It's not true.
No.
I just don't want those women to be president. Hillary was a terrible candidate. Kamala is an even worse candidate. Candace Owens is, I believe she's an Ivy League grad. I could be wrong at that, but I think she's an Ivy League grad. I don't remember what school. And she is incredibly intelligent, incredibly well-spoken. She's married. She's got kids. So she's a mother. She is, I would argue right now, the most qualified woman that could be president right now. I firmly believe that. I want her on the ticket. I would love to vote for a woman for president.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I genuinely would.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean,
and if she runs for president,
yeah,
I don't care who's running against her, I will vote for her. I will. 100%.
But that's...
And again, we talked about this with Nikki Haley too.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley was not the one.
No.
She was not the one.
No.
Was she better than the other two? Yeah, but she's not the one.
Right. She said some stupid things. I mean,
yeah.
I was
very stupid things.
I was open to Nikki Haley, and then she made some comments that made no sense to me. But that's what I tell people all the time. I say, and I have said this probably for a decade, if not longer. I was like, I will happily vote for a woman because I don't care if you're a man or a woman, black, blue, brown. It doesn't matter to me. Like,
you shouldn't.
If you look at my
You're right.
If you look at my friends and you look at who's become my family, my life dictates to you that I care about the quality of the human being and the content of your character. Shout out Martin Luther King Jr. That's what I look for.
People forget about that, though.
I look for the content of your character. If Candace Owens was Chinese, I'd feel the same way. If Candace Owens was a man, I'd feel the same way. If Candace Owens was white, I'd feel the same way. If Candace Owens wasn't a mother, I'd feel the same way. Because the thing is it's about the content of the character. And what we're realizing in today's society is there is a war against God and there is a war against common sense. So I'm not voting for really candidates anymore. I'm voting to keep God at the center of this country, and I'm voting to keep common sense, and I'm voting to have people in the media that are brainwashing you to not have the power. That's what I'm voting for. And that's what I think people don't understand is I've never come out and said I'm this party, I'm that party. I've talked to people on both. I've talked to Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, gay, lesbian, straight. I've talked to young, old. I've talked to people that don't vote, people that do vote, people that are veterans of wars. And I got the same conversation from everybody. You know, I'm standing with a lesbian group, and they said, if you ever ran for president, I would vote for you. I'm sitting with a veteran on a flight, and he said, if you ever run, let me know. So my conversations with all of these groups that they're telling you are divided between parties, That's just to get, that's just to steal your vote. The reality of it all is when you sit down and you talk to people, if they're lesbian or straight, they both want safe communities. If you're black or white, they both want good education for their kids. And when you start to break it all down, we all want the same stuff. Unless you're Charles Manson or Ted Bundy, most people are like, yeah, I want safe neighborhoods. I want to have enough money to pay my bills and go on vacation. I want my kids to have a better life than I did. I want education to be education. I want 2 + 2 to always equal 4. There's things that we all want in the basis of our lives. And when you actually meet with people and you talk to people, see, a lot of these candidates, they're not willing to go to a dangerous neighborhood in Chicago where there was just 35 stabbings in the last however many months. But if I was running for president, I would absolutely go there. And people say, well, why would you go there? It's dangerous. Well, apparently it's dangerous to have a rally in a friggin' open field in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to go to Chicago. I've been in Chicago. I've been in downtown Chicago at 1 o'clock in the morning. So to me, it's, if you want to change things, you have to go and meet the people. And I've always been that way. Like, if you want to understand poverty and you want to see poverty, go and serve at a soup kitchen. You can't understand poverty from watching it on television. You have to physically go and see it. You have to physically go there. When Hurricane Katrina happened, I didn't give money. I went through Operation Helping Hands through Marywood, I went to New Orleans. I met the people. I was in the city. We worked on their homes. I cried over their stories. And that was one of the most moving, if not the most moving thing I've ever done in my life, is to go and help the people of New Orleans. And I still think about them to this day. So what I'm saying to people is, number one, if you can vote, vote. If you're a legal citizen of the age of 18 or older, vote. And when you go and vote,
and still alive,
right, and still alive, think about what matters to you, and understand that most of the things that matter to you when it comes to common sense things about safety and security and food and water and shelter, that's what most people want. And really think about the fact that we're more alike than we're different. And what I find really scary, Murph, is I have a close relationship with God. And I feel a lot of things. And my buddy Rob can go with me on this. You sense a lot of things. I am concerned that the next 4 years could get us closer to the book of Revelation. And I don't want to be right in that. And I'm not telling people there's a candidate or a party. I'm telling people that we have to be really, really careful about taking God out of society, because we had one school shooting, Columbine. And every year when we had the anniversary, it was like 9/11, and people were like so sad, and oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Now we have a school shooting, weekly, bi-weekly, and I ask people
basically
to look at life, and now we're desensitized. I ask people to look at life. When you take God out of society, society crumbles. America was all about God. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the world. God on the money. God in the schools. We stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. The more we've taken God out of society, the faster America has crumbled. And they've said it before, that the enemies of the United States of America are smart enough to know you do not fight the United States of America in today's world with an army. You give them ideas, you feed them information, and you watch it implode from the inside out. And that's exactly what's happening. And all I'm asking people to do is to care about your neighbor, to care about the fact that you did come from somewhere, and that God that you don't believe in still believes in you. Common sense, faith, there's a lot of things that are under attack right now. And I say this all the time. I had no idea there was this many sheep in America. I didn't realize there was this many people that could be lied to their face and believe you even when common sense refutes it. And I mean, gas prices have not gone under $3 all but once in 4 years. Yet if they tell you that it's fine and it's going to be okay, people go, okay. And so you can believe in God, not believe in God, but God believes in you. You can have common sense, not have common sense, but common sense still exists whether or not you have it. And when you look at the media today, they don't want black and white people together. They don't want men and women together. They don't want gay and straight together. And I just want you to ask why. Because in my life, in my family, they're gay, straight, black, white, brown, men, women, young, old. If you looked at my 8 brothers, we're all different. And we come from different places. But we're all family. And I would just like for more people to start questioning division and start doing this crazy thing in life, which is flip the script and make it addition. This is not about political parties. This is about saving this world for the future. And I don't have children, Murph, and you know that I've always wanted to. But if I had a child today, I would homeschool them because I'm terrified of the indoctrination. And that was something the Middle East is about. That was something that Nazi Germany was about. It was never something that America was about.
The problem is, going back to what you said before about them wanting to separate people, that is segregation. We got rid of segregation in the 60s. That is what Martin Luther King lived and died for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martin Luther King said he wanted his children to grow up in a world in which people were judged by the content of not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. You said it before. I'll say it again. It is more true today than it was back then. But the problem is, not only are we being judged by the color of our skin, but we're being judged by our sexuality, by our gender, by our political beliefs, right? People arbitrarily think someone is a Trump supporter and they're a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Right? That's no different than in the 60s calling a black guy the N-word. And I never want to condone that.
Yeah.
It's no different. Calling someone that's black the N-word is no different than calling someone that's white a cracker.
Yeah.
Right? It's not okay. It's not okay to call somebody a racist. It's not okay to call somebody a white supremacist. It's not okay to call someone the N-word. It is not okay to call someone a cracker. It is not okay to call people that to say that. Right? And it's just thrown around like it's nothing. People call people homosexual or homophobic. People call people gender phobic or whatever the hell they're saying now if they don't believe in more than 2 genders. Right? Like, these are the same people that were saying, listen to the science during COVID. Yet they don't listen to the science now when it comes to biology.
Yeah.
There's male, there's female, and mentally ill, as Jake Paul said. Which actually I thought was hysterical. But he's right. The people that think they're something else are messed up here. There's something wrong. And I feel bad to say that, but that is the case. And, I mean, I hate that we just going on about this for an hour and we were committed to we were talking about baseball, we were talking about college football, we were talking about cards, but that's America in 2024 in a nutshell. It just is. And it's sad. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
America is just so divided right now.
Yeah.
That is why I didn't think Trump was the right candidate to bring us back. We needed someone that truly could bring America together.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought Vivek was that guy, which is who I would have voted for. I didn't actually vote in the primary, in part because I was busy at work, and also, basically all the minor elections near me, everyone was unopposed.
Right.
and President Trump was already going to be the candidate. So I'm like, why bother? Like, it's not like November's a different story,
Right.
but primary where basically every race is already decided or people are running unopposed. I don't need to go vote in that. Um, but I just look forward to the day that we can get back to the way we were even 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When President Obama got elected president in 2008, we could have had basically the best relationship we've seen or we would see between people of color and people that are white in the history of our country. But instead, things got worse. Racial divides got even bigger over those 8 years. He had a chance to do something no president's ever done. Bring everybody together, no matter what your skin color is, your gender, everything. And instead, he made it worse. Trump gets elected. It did get worse. I still think he was a great president, but fact of the matter is, we became more divided under President Trump than we did under any other president. Now, that's usually, I firmly believe that's one side's fault. That's the media's fault. Right? But bottom line is, we are more divided right now than we have ever been. Even during segregation and civil rights movement in the 60s. Even, like, we're closing in on the type of divide that we had going into the Civil War. And people sometimes forget why the Civil War was fought.
Yeah.
It was fought because people wanted to retain slavery. What party voted for Abraham Lincoln? Republicans. What party wanted slaves? Democrats. I don't get it. I really don't. Well, how can we possibly think that this is okay? And these people that, these people that are on the Democratic side of the aisle are the ones that are fighting for the rights of black people, for the rights of for the rights of black people, for the rights of gay people, for the rights of LGBT, whatever. And that's all well and good. But they want to blame us for slavery. First of all, this was 150 years ago.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do with us. My family wasn't even in America yet.
Yeah.
My family was still in Ireland at the time. And Italy and Germany, whatever. But they are trying to fight for that, yet their party is the ones who were fighting to keep slavery.
Yeah, but if you erase history, like people,
you are doomed to repeat it.
Right, that people are doing.
My mom has said that for years throughout this whole thing. Critical race theory, all the stuff about trying to forget about the Civil War and all that. Like, if you erase history, you are doomed to repeat it.
Right.
We are. We talked about this the Monday after he got shot. Had Trump been assassinated, we would probably be in a civil war. We are closer to another civil war right now than we are to a completely united front. We were supposed to be the United States of America.
Yeah.
The United States.
Yeah.
It has been that way for almost 250 years. Wait. Over 200. No, 2026 will be 250. But almost 250 years. We've been the United States of America. America was founded on the principles that we wanted a free society where we were united. Mm-hmm. They wanted to be free from King George in England, in the UK.
Free from tyranny and control just to be in 2024 and have tyranny and control. And the sad thing
It's the same. It's the same. Sorry, I apologize for cutting you off.
Go ahead.
But it's the same thing that, and there's a rumor going around that President Trump wants to kill income tax, federal income tax. Do you know why federal income tax was put in place in the first place?
No, I don't.
It was put in place by Abraham Lincoln to fund the Civil War. It was never meant to stay in place post-Civil War. But now federal income tax funds the government. It funds these people's salaries.
Yeah.
We get taxed on everything. We get taxed when we make money. We get taxed when we spend money.
Yeah.
We get taxed when we buy a house. We get taxed when we buy groceries. We get taxed when we go to dinner. We get taxed when we buy clothes.
Yeah.
We get taxed when you buy anything. We get taxed when you spend anything or when you make any money. You sell something, you get taxed on it. You go to work, you make money at your job, you get taxed on it. Like my last paycheck had almost $1,000 in taxes taken out. If we got rid of the federal income tax,
yeah.
If you want to kill federal income tax and raise the sales tax to a nationwide 10%, okay.
Well, New York's already at 8. We've been here forever, so I don't think we would be like so.
You want to raise it to a nationwide sales tax of 10%,
yeah,
and kill income tax across the board. States can do what they want. It's Florida obviously has no state income tax, so there's Nevada and Tennessee and states like that.
Delaware, yeah,
but Delaware doesn't either. I think South Dakota too. But you do that, the American people will be much, much happier. Because there are people that don't spend that kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're taxing us 2, 3, 4, 5 times on that money. We don't need tax dollars to fund the government. Realistically, we don't.
Let me throw this at you.
Hell, we got $30 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
From them. Why don't they just not take a salary?
Well, because
people in the government should not be getting richer. They work for us.
Career politicians.
You're right. It should not be a job. A career politician should not be a career. It shouldn't. Yeah. Right? If you want to do, there's one U.S. president that ever served on the Supreme Court afterwards. I believe it was it Grant? Maybe? I don't remember. But there was a president that then became the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That's fine. They're not making a huge salary, but they're in service to the country, right? Do I think they should be taking a salary? Yes. They should be taking a salary that is enough money for them to live and then commute to and from Washington.
How about this? How about you give every politician in the national government the same salary, flat rate, and if they need more money or they want more money after having this cost of living salary, we as the people vote on if we're going to increase the salary. So we control your salary, but like any sports team, there's a cap. There's a cap on your salary. So let me throw this to you, Murph. You talked about taxes. In the Bible, who are considered sinners? Who did Jesus sit with and eat with? Prostitutes and tax collectors. So they were considered sinners in the Bible. Back in the day, they were considered sinners. Also, folks, this is really sad too. If you see someone wave an American flag in front of their house, and then I can't take credit for this because somebody wrote this, I saw it yesterday, but they said the people that have American flags on their cars and in their houses, you know who they're voting for. How sad is that? If you have an American flag, you know what side that person's voting for. I thought we were all the United States of America. And I will say this again, and I will say it proudly. If you hate this country, if you hate the flag, if you hate everything about it, and you go on social media and say how bad of a country it is, and you threaten to leave if your candidate doesn't win, like a 4-year-old child who's stomping their foot because they didn't get recess the way they wanted to, I would love for you to actually live by your word. Because if you hate America and you live in America, you tweet about it on your couch, in your house, watching your TV, with your food. It sounds like you got a pretty good life while you tweet about it. But this is the irony of life. Your freedom to say horrible things about the country you live in was given to you by the country you live in. There would be a rude awakening of a lot of people on social media if you were living in Iran and you said, I hate the government, F the flag. You might not show up alive the next day. If you said to North Korea, F this flag, I don't care about this guy, Kim Jong da-da-da-da-da, and you put it on your little tweets, put it on your little TikTok, they might never hear from you again. You might get erased from history. So the reality of it all is you live in a country that allows you to say whatever you want in the hopes that you understand the parameters. That free speech doesn't mean hate speech. And yet, here we are with Hollywood people saying, if this person wins, I'm moving. Well, you didn't move last time. You're not going to move this time because you're not going to give up your house and you're not going to give up your cushy lifestyle. So
I've kind of said I'm going to move to Florida, which I kind of want to move south anyway, so that would just expedite the process.
Right.
It would just be a matter of me going to Florida versus North Carolina.
Right.
I would just go to Florida instead.
But the reality of it all is if you live in this country and you say you hate it and you hate the flag and you burn the flag and you're on college campuses pro-terrorism, then I don't understand why you're here. Because if I was a parent and I had a kid go, you know what? F you, Dad. F you, Mom. I hate this place. I hate this. I hate this. I hate that. And all we're doing is providing for you. I would say, okay, you don't want to live in this house. You don't want to eat this. You don't respect us. Then go live outside.
Get out.
Go live outside. And they're going to say, Dad, I don't know how to pitch a tent. Not my problem. Dad, how am I supposed to eat? I don't know. You're going to have to catch something and kill it and cook it. Well, how am I supposed to do that? I don't know. You're going to have to figure it out.
No, but I'm a vegan. I don't want to do that.
Okay, well, you know what? I hope there's a vegan squirrel outside that's really lazy that you can just pick up because it's not trying to run away. The reality of it all is we live in a country that provided for us more freedoms than probably any other place. And because we have everything at the kitchen table, people don't appreciate the tomatoes. They don't appreciate the chicken. They don't appreciate the water. They don't appreciate the bread. And what I'm asking you folks today is take the party away, take the color away, take the gender away, take the sexuality and the religion away. You live in a country that most of us get to eat off a table where we get to pick what we want. We have a variety. And sometimes when you have everything, you don't appreciate anything. And my grandfathers and my great uncles fought so that I can sit here today, have my own business, speak my own mind, and do things the way I want to do things. But I was also brought up with common sense, and I was brought up with the reality that I do have freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean I have the freedom to hate. It doesn't mean I have the freedom to discriminate. It doesn't mean I have the freedom to be prejudiced. I was raised that all of the freedoms I have can be taken away. That by the way I act, that can be taken away. That my actions and my words must equal each other, and I must be consistent in how I treat people. So some of us were raised to remember we're in America and remember that that can be taken away. And some of us were raised that we were in America and to take advantage and exploit it. I'm asking you to do the first and not the second. And I'm asking you that if you don't like the flag and you don't like this country, then pack your bags and leave. Because I don't think I can find one American who hates this country on social media that's actually going to leave and go live somewhere else. because as much as they hate it, if they packed their bag and went overseas, they'd be crying to come home.
Go live in Russia.
So just
go live in China.
Appreciate
go
where
live
you
in
are.
Iran, Afghanistan. Try to go live there.
Right.
And let us know how it is.
Right.
And when you come crying, when you come calling back to us to come back, no, you could stay.
Right.
You wanted to leave.
Right.
Not our problem.
I just never thought that it would be like, hey, that house has the American flag. Hey, that house doesn't. They're pro-America. They're anti-America. If you're anti-America living in America, I don't want you here. I don't want you to live here. That's like saying I got 10 family members at my table and 5 of them have guns pointed at me. Why would I want that in my house? That doesn't make any sense to me. A house divided cannot stand. And you want to know something? People think that that's a government thing. It was written in the Bible. It was written in the Bible. It says a kingdom divided cannot stand. A house divided cannot stand. That is in the Bible. We're talking about thousands of years ago. They said, if you divide...
It's in the Old Testament, isn't it?
What'd you say?
It's in the Old Testament, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know the exact book that I read it in, but it says a kingdom divided upon itself cannot stand. A house divided cannot stand. That is not something that Abraham Lincoln said or George Washington said and created. This is something that was put in the Bible and made clear. And by the way, if you just entertain me and read the Bible and read something that was made thousands of years, if you go and you actually read it, there are statements in the Bible that you look at and go, how the heck did they know to give that advice to someone in 2024? There's a reason why the Bible is the most bought book ever. And there's a reason why those messages transcend time. And I, again, am going to go back to this before we take a step aside. Take God out of society, society crumbles. Whether you believe in God or not. Believing in God was not hurting society. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance was not hurting anybody. Talking about God wasn't hurting anybody. Teaching religion wasn't hurting anybody. So, in my world and in my life, I know one thing to be true, and I'm someone who educates myself and talks to people that don't agree with me. A house divided cannot stand. God out of society, society crumbles. Common sense is not uncommon. And I pray for this country and I pray for this world, because we have a lot of people that are easily manipulated. And it makes me sad to know that you take advantage of all of the things that you have in a house while you say you don't want to live in that house. And there's people all over the world that would love to live here. Why do you think so many people are crossing the border?
I was about to say the same thing.
People want to live. This is what I said this years ago. I said the moment that people stop trying to cross the border is when you know that America has done screwed up. There has never been a time in history, I think, from the institution of this country, that people don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. And my family came here for a better life. Your family came here for a better life. So many families came here for a better life. And I sat on an immigration panel at Marywood University with an immigration lawyer, with a historian. And I said, my last thing that I said was, if they ask immigrants to leave this country, legal immigrants to leave this country, we would all have to go home. There is not a single person that can claim this land. Even Native Americans were not born here. They discovered it first. There was nobody born on this land. And if you wanted immigrants to go home, we would all have to leave. So it is important and imperative to understand that at some point in every single one of our lives, someone in our lineage made a decision that this was the right place to be. We all came together and we became a melting pot. We became a beacon of hope and light for the rest of the world. We were the big brother to the little brother. And right now, we are setting a bad example for the world, for our kids. I'm not asking people to vote on one side or the other. I'm not asking people to scream at each other. I'm asking you to remember that we were built based on hope, based on faith, based on community, based on together. We would have never won the Revolutionary War if we were divided.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Civil War did was kill people that didn't agree with each other. Where we are today in 2024 should never happen, because the Civil War happened, and that Civil War happening once, when a brother fights a brother and a sister fights a sister, that one time in history should have been enough time. I'm not asking you to go red or blue. I'm not asking you to be extreme or extreme. I'm asking you to care about where you live, appreciate where you live, put your figurative weapons down, and just try to work together, believe in each other, because everything that my grandfather stood for, everything my great uncle stood for, my great aunts and my grandmothers, every single one of those things is under attack right now. So I know what I believe in. I know the ideals and the morals and values I follow, and I will die on the hill that my grandfathers fought for me to be able to live on. And I want you to think about that. I will die where they provided my opportunity to live. I will never forget the sacrifices that have been made. I have a friend that is fighting overseas right now that has 2 children and a wife. I will never stop fighting for the people that remember how hard it is to fight for freedom. And with that, we'll take a step aside on Wake Up Call from the Heritage Hill Studios. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the taste of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees. And as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. It is DT and Murph and I talking about very important things to society and very important things to this world. And we talk about, the things that make America, America, right? And the nation's pastime is baseball. Murph, you and I haven't talked about baseball really since we jumped into the second half of the 2024 season. At the time that we're talking in the American League in the East, the Orioles and the Yankees have the same record, 67-46. In the Central Division, the Cleveland Guardians have sprang up here with a record of 67-44. The Seattle Mariners are fastly being chased by the Houston Astros here. Houston Astros 57-54. The Mariners are 59-54. In the National League in the East, the Phillies continue to lead, still have a 6-game lead on the Braves. 66-45. Braves are 60-51. Your Mets are only 8 games back, 58-53, having moments of surge here. In the Central Division of the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers have a 5.5-game lead over the Cardinals, and the Pirates, they have a 6-game lead over. 62-49 is the Brewers' current record, and the Dodgers continue to lead the National League West at 65-47, with the Padres behind them 4.5 games back. And the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have won 9 of their last 11 games, are 5 games behind the Dodgers. So, a look at the overall view of this Major League Baseball season in the second half of the season. What comes to mind when you hear about the state of these divisions?
Sorry, I was texting back and forth with somebody. I just sold one of my cards that I'm going to show off here in a little bit. Yeah, so the biggest thing I'd say is I'm shocked at the way the Phillies have kind of gotten cold. They were so red hot to start the year, and it just seems as though recently they have kind of sort of hit a little bit of a wall. Yeah. They were the best team in the National League for the first 3 months of the year. Now they're 2-8 in their last 10. They're still 19 games over 500, which tells you how hot they were to start the year. But they are no longer the best team in baseball, as they have been overtaken by the Guardians and the Orioles and the Yankees. So they do still have the best record in the National League, though, I will say that. The other one that stands out Have you seen the Chicago White Sox? They are 3 losses away. I believe it's 3 losses away from breaking the all-time record for consecutive losses in a single season. They are at 20 consecutive losses. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've seen teams win 20 in a row.
Yeah.
I remember when the Indians broke the record, broke the A's record for consecutive wins. But I've never seen a team lose 20 in a row. Except in the NBA, but that's the NBA. This is baseball where you're going to win games eventually. I've never seen the Mets 1962 season record for losses be challenged. It can happen. They are so bad. Their run differential is by far the worst in baseball, minus 247. So that means they've given up 247 more runs than they have scored. Oh my goodness. I believe they've given up the most runs out of any team in all of baseball. No, that's not true. The Rockies. But that's not surprising though because of where they play. But they have scored by far the fewest runs. They're the only team in baseball with less than 400 runs scored, and they have. Let me rephrase that. They are the only team in baseball with less than 408 runs scored. They have 352 runs scored over the course of the season. They got rid of guys at the deadline. They got rid of Fetty. They got rid of Eloy Jimenez. There were rumblings that they were going to trade Garrett Crochet, but I think he handcuffed them with stating that if he gets traded if a team wants him to pitch in October, he wants a contract extension. I mean, good for him, but at the same time, I think that's a little bit messed up. It sounds like very much a football type of discussion there, but I don't know. The White Sox are just bad, really, really bad. And the Phillies, like I said, have been scuffling a little bit over the last maybe month or so, because their lead in the division has shrunk to just 6 games over the Braves. So, and the Braves haven't exactly been that great either. But the Mets were nipping at their heels. They were there for a while. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels, which shouldn't be losing 2 out of 3 to the Angels. They're now a game and a half out of the final wild card spot behind your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
But anything can happen. But not only that, they're only 2 games back of the number 1 wild card spot too. So it's not like they're that far behind. I'm not worried about them in terms of, can they get back up the standings, because they easily can. But the Red Sox, or not the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks and the Padres have been hot. The Padres did a lot at the deadline, but I don't want to go on here forever. But how boring was that trade deadline this year? This year's trade deadline was awful.
You didn't like it? I got some Josh Bell.
Awful.
Well, and I saw a great.
Well, the only reason I say that is because no big names got traded.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the biggest team that got traded at the buzzer was Jack Flaherty.
I gotta say,
it was definitely a seller's market. It was not a buyer's market.
AJ,
if Crochet or Skubal would have gotten traded, it would have been the shock of the century, and they would have gotten an absolute haul for either one of those guys.
Yeah.
But
what I like the meme that I saw, because the Diamondbacks got AJ Puck. They brought in another pitcher, an AJ Puck, and there was a kid. And the meme said, "Am I allowed to say puck? Yeah." And so I was like, "Yeah."
He's closing for them now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, AJ. Listen, the dude stepped up in a huge way, man. And Josh Bell, he's been cranking homies, so I'm all about it. Josh, when I saw that Josh Bell was coming to the Diamondbacks, I was like, okay. And then the big bats started going, and that's the other thing. I mean, I need to track this, but in the last couple seasons, has any team done what the Diamondbacks have done, which is put up like almost 20 runs in numerous games? They think they just put up 17.
Oh, I'm sure. Maybe not like that, but it's happened.
Yeah.
But if for those of you that don't understand this reference,
yeah,
AJ Puck was a Gator.
That's right. Puck.
So, but yeah, it's been a weird season. safe to say. I mean, the Yankees were scuffling for a while, and now they finally have figured it out again. But that's because the Orioles are scuffling. The Orioles, who took over the lead of the division, have now been scuffling. They just called Jackson Holiday back up. They just lost Jordan Westberg for a while. He broke his hand. Kills my fantasy team, but that's a conversation for another day. But the Yankees are starting to figure it out. Judge is doing Aaron Judge things. 41 home runs, I believe he has. He's on pace for, I believe, more than the 62 he hit 2 years ago. So I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what happens here.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun last 2 months of the season in August and September. I hope my Mets make the playoffs. I would love to see it. They did, kind of, I guess you would call it a bare minimum deadline, but they didn't give up anything. So it's not like they're giving up top prospects to get guys.
Yeah.
But we all knew going into this year that this was not the year they were going to compete. It was going to be 2025, right? Because of the free agent class. All their money with Verlander's Verlander's option is not going to vest, so the Mets will be off the hook there. Scherzer's money will be off the books. Mets have a lot of money coming off the books. Between Scherzer and Verlander, that's almost $60 million coming off the books next year. Realistically,
That's insane.
you could give that money to Juan Soto. You could. And I want them to. I still, in my gut, think he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think he's staying in the Bronx.
Yeah.
But I do think firmly he ain't leaving New York. It's either going to be the Mets or the Yankees. Because the Dodgers are probably not going to be in on him. They have way too much money invested in this team right now.
Yeah.
The only other team with money that I could even remotely see as a possibility, actually, no, not even. I don't see any other teams in between besides the Mets and the Yankees. Maybe the Red Sox because they have money that they'll spend sometimes. Maybe the Cubs. I don't see it, but I think he's gonna stay in New York. I think he loves New York. I still think he wanted to be a Met all along, and he wanted to feel out New York and got to the Yankees, and now is feeling how he thinks about New York. But we'll see. That's a conversation we'll have in the offseason.
Yeah.
If the Mets get him, I will be absolutely over the moon. I'll be thrilled. It would be like feeling like we just won the World Series, even though they haven't. But we'll see. Your Diamondbacks have looked better. I mean, I think Corbin's starting to turn a corner, right? He's starting to hit a little bit better right now.
Yeah, life is getting a little bit better for the Diamondbacks. They got to stay consistent. And, there's the rumblings that this team can, catch fire and kind of build off of that momentum from last season and give that feel back to it. But it's consistency. There's times where I've seen them score a ton of runs and I've said to myself, like let's save some of those for the next game. But they won a bunch of close games recently here, like 6-5 type games. And, so they have shown that they could do it. They have shown that their pitching is going to do enough. They have shown that their bats can wake up. They've beaten teams from all over the place. They've beaten teams from all different divisions, and they've really held their own. And they've had moments against the Padres and the Dodgers, who are currently above them, where they've come away with victories. And I think that, when you envision something and then it comes to life and you physically see it, like you have the dream about it, you have the thought about it, the belief about it, when you see that happen. I'm a firm believer that, let's say you play the Dodgers 9 times, you beat them once, and you make the playoffs. You go, okay, well, you know what? We know we can do it. We know that we can make the king bleed, so to speak, in our division. So I think that they've shown up in big games. There's games where, you kind of anticipate they're going to win this series and they've struggled or they've split it. So I think the first half of the season has been the Diamondbacks needing to show some more consistency in the realm of consistently good, not occasionally great. And I think right now there's a wave. And I think right now it's like, okay, and I've said this all season, if Corbin Carroll's bat steps up, look at all these games that they were right there. If his bat was alive, would they have won 80% of those games? 50% at least. So, I think with Josh Bell there, and maybe that takes some of the pressure off, and what these guys have been doing, so many people focus on, is Corbin hot or cold? And still to this day, and it blows my mind because he set a record last year in consecutive postseason games with a hit in Major League Baseball history, is Ketel Marte. Everything that he's done, people still don't talk about him. And, I mean, this guy's an all-star. So I think that they have done what they could do in the offseason to bring in pitching rotation. And before the trade deadline, they brought in more pitching. And they brought in another hitter. So I think the Diamondbacks, with having almost everybody back from last year, plus more pitchers in your rotation and having that depth, plus bringing in Bell, I would like to think that they can at least make the postseason. And I'm excited to see how they continue. I am never someone who talks trash because I lose immediately. So in the comfort of my own home, I'm a Diamondback fan. As an impartial broadcaster, the Diamondbacks have done some good things, and we'll see. They've shown that once they're in, they're dangerous. And I mean, I think the biggest surprise to me is the fact that by record right now in this moment, the Cleveland Guardians are leading the entire American League. They're leading the Orioles. They're leading the Yankees. They're leading the Rangers. They're leading the Astros. So I want to give a shout out because the AL and NL Central divisions in recent history have been the weakest, where you could win them on a record that maybe wasn't going to win you second or third place in another division. But as of right now, the Cleveland Guardians are leading the American League, and I think that there needs to be some credit there because I think that to most people, they've been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, they have been, and they're hitting. You know, right? Like Jose Ramirez has had another, Jose Ramirez type year.
Yeah.
They kind of, it's been very quiet that they've done this, right? It's not like they're coming out here and just absolutely dominating and, everyone knows they're the best team in baseball. It's been very quiet, right? J-Ram's got almost 30 home runs again. He's already got 93 RBI, 24 doubles, hitting 277. Steven Kwan's hitting 330. Josh Naylor's got 24 home runs, hitting 250. But then you look at their pitching staff. Like, their pitching staff's been pretty solid all year.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's been pretty good. I mean, they haven't been like all world amazing, but they've been pretty good. Tanner Bybee's been their ace. He's, pitching to a 3.5 ERA, just under 10 strikeouts per 9. Emmanuel Clase as their closer has been really good. He's got a .7 ERA. He's got 23. How many saves is that? 33 saves. They got multiple guys in their bullpen with ERAs under 1. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ben Lively has been a revelation for them. I have him on one of my fantasy teams. He's been pretty darn good this year. He's pitching with 3.42 ERA, under a strikeout per inning at 7.7 per 9. So 105 innings, only 90 strikeouts, but he's got a relatively solid whip at 1.15, so he's not really walking a ton of batters. And he's pitching deep into games. Like, he's pitching six innings at least per start for the most part.
Yeah.
He gets 7 quality starts out of 19 games started. So he's been pretty good. So you can't really count the Guardians out. They've been real impressive so far. And then you look at, teams like the Orioles, who had been scuffling, but now are, starting to figure things out again, because Gunnar Henderson's an MVP candidate. 29 home runs, hitting 293, OPS at 946. Anthony Santander's been surprisingly very good for them, hitting 250 with 30 bombs. Rutschman's having another good year. Mountcastle's been good. Jordan Westbrook has been great, but now he's hurt. They've got guys. I mean, they just called up Jackson Holiday again. They just called up Kobe Mayo.
Yeah.
They got a lot of prospects in the pipeline that are really, really good. The Orioles pitching staff's been pretty good. Corbin Burns doing Corbin Burns things. Grayson Rodriguez has been pretty solid. but then again, pitching in general this year hasn't been the greatest. I mean, look at Garrett Cole with the Yankees. I mean, Garrett Cole, since he came back from injury, is pitching to, let's see, is pitching to an ERA north of 5. That's not Garrett Cole. That is not. And it's actually quite funny to watch. But, you got obviously Judge doing Judge things, Soto doing Soto things. Give the Yankees time. They'll be pretty good. Aaron Judge, let me see if I can pull up all of baseball stats. Aaron Judge is sitting third in average, and he leads the league in home runs and RBI. He's got a shot at a triple crown this year.
Yeah.
Now, Steven Kwan's hitting 333 and Bobby Witt's hitting 344. So Bobby Witt's having a good year for the Royals. And can I just point out, Kansas City Royals right now, we talked about the AL Central being one of the worst divisions in baseball in recent years. Now it's arguably one of the best.
Yeah.
But look at the Kansas City Royals. They are sitting in third place. They're 5 games back, but they hold, I believe, the third and final wildcard spot in the American League. But looking at their roster and what they've got right now, if you look at them, Bobby Witt's hitting 340, 20 home runs. He's stolen 25 bases, so he's on a 30-30 pace.
Yeah.
Michael Garcia has been pretty darn good for them, steal 27 bags and playing pretty well. Sal Perez is doing well. Vinny Pasquantino's figuring it out. MJ Melendez is starting to hit finally. But I think the story with the Royals has been their pitching staff. Seth Lugo, who, as most of you remember, is a former Met, could legitimately win the American League Cy Young Award. He's pitching to a 2.57 ERA and 127 strikeouts in 150 innings. He's only given up 12 home runs all year. WAR of 4.6, WHIP of 1.02. He doesn't walk anybody. 17 quality starts in 23 games pitched. Cole Reagan's another one. 159 strikeouts, 134 innings, 3.36 ERA. Brady Singer, go Gators. Pitching to a 2.88 ERA. 115 strikeouts at 125 innings. 10 quality starts out of 22. Reagan's it's 15 out of 23. Michael Wacha's been good for them. Alex Marsh has been decent. Their bullpen's been pretty good. I am seriously impressed with what the Kansas City Royals are doing. They have started to figure out how to develop pitching, and they've also started to figure out how to play baseball again. So it's been a while for them. Obviously, they won the World Series back in 2015, a series in which I try to forget. But they're starting to figure things out. They could be a team to watch going into the postseason. They'd be a really interesting team to watch.
Well, and I think the thing is, like Bobby Witt Jr., I mean, people were fans of him no matter what, without really thinking the Royals as a team were going to be where they are right now. And the thought of them having some depth, some in their season getting into the postseason would be really cool to see where that can go. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's things that we've talked about kind of going deeper into it that we'll get into, payroll and different things over these next few weeks and what 2025 looks like for Major League Baseball. But we're going to take a step into another field here, the college football playoff. Like I said, this week, my specials are going to air featuring the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl representation as well as representation from the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Gary Stoken from the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and Scotty Rogers from the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. The New Year's Six are now firmly in the college football playoff at all times. They don't rotate in and out. They rotate from quarters to semis. So they'll have 2 bowls of the New Year's Six that are within the semis and 4 within the quarters, and they'll rotate so that some of those quarters, whoever's in the quarter, get into the semi. Semis rotate back to the quarter, but the road to the national championship will go through the New Year's Six, which I think is awesome for the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, as well as the Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. So did I say sugar twice? I don't think I did. But
You might. I don't know.
so, but that's
I don't remember.
that's what it looks like, sugar. But we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. We'll come back with the college football playoff talk here with Murph, and we still have sports card show and tell coming up thanks to the wonderful, wonderful partnership we have with GG Cards and Breaks. Murph has so many things. This is what happens when you give Murph 2 weeks. And
I
he's
got
like,
a PSA order back.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's like you give Murph a couple weeks and you say, "Hey Murph, we're gonna do cards in a couple weeks." Murph has a ton of stuff. By the way, I put out some polls while we were talking here, and I'm gonna let y'all vote in this. I hope y'all will vote in this on the fast break here. So when we take a step aside inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, go to X and vote at CallDT. That's CALLDT. I put up polls all throughout the year. We got 2 up this morning. Who will win the AL East? The Orioles, the Yankees, or the Red Sox? Current voting, 80% Orioles, 20% Yankees, 0% Red Sox.
I just voted in both.
Oh, nice.
So
And who will, thank
Yeah.
you, who will win the NL West? The Dodgers, the Padres, or the Diamondbacks? Early polling, 50-50. Dodgers and Diamondbacks, 0% Padres. I thought that one might go 100% Dodgers, but someone voted for the Diamondbacks. It was not me. We'll take a step aside for a fast break.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure I can't vote in my own polls.
I'm just kidding.
So with that
I'm
being
just kidding.
said, yeah, I can't vote in them. But so somebody else out there, thank you. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Thanks to everybody that votes in our polls. X, the former Twitter at CallDT. Vote while we are on the fast break throughout the show and throughout the coming days. We will be back inside the Heritage Hill Studios with college football playoff talk right after this. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the taste of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose
us at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was, selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill coming to you in two awesome locations in central and upstate New York. You will find them at Heritage Hill Brew House out in Pompey on 3149 Sweet Road in the rolling hills of the countryside, and you'll find it right here in the hustle and bustle of so many pieces of our awesome community and right by the airport at Heritage Hill North, where we have all of our exclusive CNS North Stars broadcasts. The only place where we do any CNS on-site on-location broadcast is at Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, right there at Sweetheart Corners. Two places that we got to bring Murph to. It is the same family, but two different experiences. Got to get
I need to try their beers.
Got to get Murph up here.
I need to try their beers.
Got to get some Murph up here. He gonna be your greatest supporter. So
I know we're gonna see each other in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be up there, but
yes,
because we got Fishtown in 2 weeks.
Back in Philly, baby girl. So
I've committed. We're going to the Museum of Art. We're gonna run up the Rocky Steps.
Oh, Murph, I don't know if you knew this, but if you started to drive out of the city without doing it, I was going to jump out of the car and go do it myself.
Listen, last time I promised you we were going to do it, and we are. I am committed. Unless it's like pouring rain, like we're doing it.
Let me ask you this.
I've been to Philly enough times. I've never done it. I need to do it. I need to see the Rocky statue.
Can you promise me that we'll get a cheesesteak?
I think probably we'll Where's that place? What's the best one that everybody talks about? Like that Geno's or whatever?
Okay, so I asked a bunch. Actually, I'm going to be airing it, so y'all need to stay tuned for this. And before we go to Philly, I'm going to be airing my interviews with the Temple Owls. I already sent my one out with Stan Drayton, the head coach of the Temple Owls football team, but I got the student athletes, and you've seen on TV all the time. Ish Kabibbles has gotten 2 nods. And there's some other ones, but if you watch those, there's a list of them. I'm just thinking about, I know Murph doesn't want to go into the city, and I agree with that, like but if we can, if there's one on the little outskirts there, I just asked for 2 things, Murph. Number one, I want to say this. Before I say anything else, I want to say this. Shout out to the city of Philadelphia, shout out to Rivers Casino, and shout out to the absolutely awesome people to work with at Fishtown Card Show, which also has other card shows and whatnot within their things that they do every single year. So I want to, like Cherry Hill and all that. So I want to say many, many thanks to Fishtown, to Philly, and to Rivers Casino. With that being said, I love bringing my cards out to you, and I have so many to bring out, and maybe the most graded cards I've ever had. So I'm very excited about that. With all of that being said, I only want 2 things, Murph. I want a Philly cheesesteak, and I want to run up the Rocky Steps. Those are the only 2 things that I want.
I'm in for one of those 2. We'll still get you your cheesesteak, even though I'll probably have like a steak sandwich. I don't eat like the cheese from the cheesesteak, but I'll probably get like a steak sandwich.
Yeah, Murph,
I imagine it'll probably
Murph will be like, can I get a Philly cheesesteak with no cheese, no onions, no mushrooms,
Philly
no
cheesesteak,
peppers?
hold the cheese and everything else.
Yeah.
I just want the steak and I want the bun.
I would like steak I would like steak and bread, please. But by the way,
and ketchup.
So ketchup's good on a Philly, but also marinara. Like if you get some side of red sauce, like you get some marinade, some marinara sauce. If you dip a Philly cheesesteak in marinara, dude, it's the best. It's the best.
I'm just baffled.
I'm
at
gonna
that.
get. I'm gonna get.
But
Listen,
what you got to look for though,
yeah,
you got to look to see where some of those places
I
are
will.
in relation to the casino and Museum of Art.
I will.
Because I don't want to. I kind of don't want to divert too much from there.
Yeah.
Because obviously the art museum is not far away from the casino.
Yeah.
So we'll go there, but I also want to, depending on where they are, this way we don't have to divert too much.
Yeah.
Because obviously I want to, we both want to stay away from the inner city. I'd love to see the Liberty Bell too at some point, but we don't need to do that this time. Maybe another time.
Yeah. So, but we will figure. But by the way, whenever I tell people get a side of marinara with Philly cheesesteak, they'll look at me and I'll be like, bro, trust me. So I guess a lot of people haven't done it. It's very good. My goal in life is to get my little brother, Brendan Murphy, to try something he's never had before, because if you know this man, you know it is very difficult to get him off of like the main road of the stuff he's
That's an
used to.
understatement.
My goal in life is to get you to go not far, just like a little bit. Like even like
I will tell you this though. I'm
ahead.
gonna keep my mouth shut about the pickles. I think it's an awesome sponsorship. I just don't like pickles.
See, but I'm going to tell you this about this. That is a misconception. It's called the Brooklyn Pickle, but
If they have other food, I'll eat other food.
no, but this is the thing. It's
but
called, it's
I
called,
can't. I do not like pickles.
But it's
at
called.
all.
But that's the thing is the Brooklyn. It's just an accent. The Brooklyn Pickle is an accent on the sandwich. You can get them, or you don't have to get the pickles. The whole thing is the sandwich. It's all about the sandwich, and that's the
Okay, good.
misconception of Carolina, where they have expanded into, is people think it's a pickle shop. It's not a pickle shop. It's a sandwich shop that has the Brooklyn Pickle as their mascot.
I kind of figured as much.
Yeah.
Um,
Murph, I'm telling you this right now.
How far is it from Pinehurst? You said it's in Southern Pines, right? So that's probably
It's
oh no, Southern Pines is right there.
right.
Because when I played Pine Needles is in Southern Pines.
Yeah.
Because you have the three courses near Pinehurst that are Pine Needles, Mid Pines, and Southern Pines are all like within 15 minutes of Pinehurst.
Yeah.
So it's close then, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this right now. Yeah, because I was out in Pinehurst. Things aren't that far away. So it's
We gonna go down and play number 2?
It's 9 minutes from Pinehurst.
Okay. We gonna go down and play number 2, and you go see them?
If you get Brooklyn Pickle, I'll go. I'll go play.
What kind of? So is it like it's like a regular, like a sandwich shop?
Yeah, they have their signature stuff. They have the BP, the Brooklyn Pickle, which is like their number one sandwich, and then like their other top sandwich. It's funny, their top 2 sandwiches are the ones that I always get.
So kind of like going to a deli.
Yeah, but it's like
Almost
the best deli sandwich. And if you get a half, it's a whole, and if you get a whole, it's 2 sandwiches. And they
Could I get a steak sandwich from there?
Can you get a steak? And I mean, not your typical Philly thing.
I don't care. Like if I could get if I get a steak sandwich from there, I'd be good with it.
This is the thing. They got pastrami, they got ham, they got corned beef, they got turkey, they got tuna, they got chicken salad. They literally anything and everything.
All things I don't eat.
Murph, they have. If you eat any type
If
of
I could
meat,
get a steak sandwich, I'll get a steak sandwich.
any type of meat besides that, like it's all there, Murph. This is what I'm saying to you.
But I don't like deli meat though.
Oh well, we're gonna have to find. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on. Let me just do this for giggles for myself. So, because the Brooklyn Pickle to me, there is nothing like the Brooklyn Pickle. So,
listen, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it
No,
because you wouldn't be partnering with them if they weren't.
No,
But for anybody that knows me, my palate is very limited.
Yeah.
The first 3 days in Europe,
Yeah.
every meal I had was a hamburger and fries. The first 3 days.
Now I'm going to tell you what they have. Well, here we go. Okay. The Brooklyn Pickle, chicken salad, roast pork, pastrami, turkey, roast beef, corned beef, Italian, cabagol, seafood salad, ham salad.
What is that?
Cabagol, capicola is what people call it. Cabagol.
Okay.
So seafood salad, ham and cheese, tuna salad, hard salami, ham, cheese, vegetarian, egg and olive, bologna, liverwurst, BLT, lettuce and tomato, and so on and so forth throughout this thing here. So, like, everything. They have antipasto. They have and they have peanut butter. They have peanut butter and jelly. So like if
I won't eat that either.
Murph, I don't know what happened. What did you find? Did you get dropped off the bus? What happened? Like what happened?
Listen, I eat what I eat. I eat what I eat. It is what it is. Well, you know. But yeah, I mean you've been with me. You know how picky I am, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they have great stuff. The problem is I could never badmouth a place like that because I wouldn't eat it, right? But I'm sure they got great food, right? It's just not my. It's like when you go to a restaurant and it's like I would never go to a seafood restaurant because I don't like seafood,
Yeah.
right? But I'll go to a Chinese restaurant, I'll go to an Italian restaurant, I'll go to whatever else. I mean, there's certain things that I'll eat. We went to a French restaurant. No. The night we got to France, we went to an Italian restaurant in France and got pizza.
My Lord.
That wasn't my choice. I swear to God, it was not my choice.
I pray for your children.
We went to a French Italian pizza place.
I pray for your children.
We had pasta and pizza. It was great.
Yeah.
But still.
I'm going to tell you this, Murph. You want to know what I had last night? I had candied jalapeno cheddar cornbread. That's what I had last night.
Oh, my God.
That's right, baby.
My dad made London broil.
Yeah.
I had London broil. So we had that. And then I also made food for myself for the week. What I'll do is I'll make like 2 pounds of pasta and like divide it up into like 4 or 5 containers that I'll be able to take for over the course of the next week or so.
Yeah.
And then I made ground beef for tacos that I'll make with I'll just go buy chips from Aldi or whatever, and I'll have that.
Yeah.
So I have options for lunches.
Do you like
but
soup,
it's a
Mark?
lot cheaper than going and getting a burger and fries or a couple slices of pizza or wings or whatever else I would go and get.
Do you like soup, Murph?
Not really.
Do you like chili?
Egg drop soup. I'll eat like egg drop soup from a Chinese restaurant. But
do you like macaroni salad, potato salad, baked beans?
got
Look
mayo.
at you,
Well,
what?
Macaroni salad, potato salad both has mayo on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Murph, what happened to you?
I won't eat stuff.
What happened to you?
Most of this stuff
What
I
happened?
tried once, hated it, and will never have it again.
What? Okay, so I'm going to tell you 3 things that I don't eat. 3 things I don't eat because I got sick on them. Okay? One of them is going to shock people, so I'm going to do it last. I don't eat tapioca/rice pudding. I know they're different. They're the same to me.
I don't know I don't really know what that
tapioca
is.
rice pudding? No.
Yeah, no.
I don't eat gingerbread men. And
What?
I don't eat gingerbread man. I got sick on the ginger with the icing. And the third thing that I will not eat is chicken parmesan.
Really?
I got sick on it. So if someone cooks it, like if I'm at like a girlfriend's house and her mom cooks it, out of respect,
Unless the chicken was undercooked.
yeah, but out of respect for her mom, like if her mom or dad makes it, I will try it, but you will never see me make chicken parmesan, and you will never see me ask for chicken parmesan because I am not a chicken.
What about like eggplant parm?
Yeah, I eat eggplant parm all day, but
Okay.
But chicken parmesan, rice pudding, tapioca pudding, gingerbread men. I got sick on rice pudding when I was 10. I got sick on a gingerbread man cookie, and I still remember, I think my grandma at the house that day, and then the chicken parmesan we had frozen, and my mom took it out of the freezer, and I got sick off of that. So those are the things that I will not eat. However, outside of those, like whatever, I'm the most unpicky person in the world. So I can't. Okay. I know that people say that there are things that are not true, but there is a certain thing in most cases that is true. And in most cases, women and men in a car picking a restaurant is hilariously frustrating. And I am very I'm not picky. I am not picky at all. I have to be in the mood for Chinese food, and I'll tell you if I had something a lot. Like I had pizza for a couple days, let's get something else. But I am extremely not picky. And so I went on a date recently and I had a ton of fun. She's like, where do you want to go? And I was like, where do you want to go? I was like, I already know this. I'm 38 years old. I've been down this rodeo with women before. Where do you want to go? Because I did this with my ex. I did this with one of my exes. I was like, where do you want to go? She's like, I don't even care. And I was like, but you do care. And
But they always say that.
And I'm picking.
And then you make a suggestion and like, nah, I don't want that.
Right.
Nah, I don't want that. Nah, I don't want that.
So I'm not kidding me. I'm in the car. And I was like, do you want to go here? And she's like, no. I was like, do you want to go here? No. And then I looked at her and I was like, do you want to go to this place? And she goes, I knew that you knew that that's what I wanted. And I was like, just say it. And she's like, no,
Tell me what you want, damn it.
It's a test. It's like, I want him to tell me. So 5 weeks ago on a Thursday at 3:37 p.m., I told him that I really like broccoli from this place. And so 5 weeks later, he needs to know that that's what my brain picked. And if he's really the man for me and the man that I should marry, then he'll know that this is the place. And I want to tell women, stop that. Just stop that at all costs. Tell me what you want. Because as a man, this is what we do. Murph and I get in the car. I go, Murph, what do you want to eat? I could really go for a burger. What about you? I want to get some chicken tenders. Is there a place that has both? That's how simple it is. That's it. That's how outrageous. It's outrageous.
It's like when they talk about like what girls mean when they say things versus what guys mean when they say things.
Right.
Like when a guy says they're fine, it actually means they're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
When a girl says they're fine, it means something completely different.
If a girl says she's fine, the stock market's going to crash. So,
yes. Yes.
But these are my rules now. These are my rules in dating. If a girl tells me she's fine, I go, okay, and I walk out the room. And then she's like, well, what the heck, Dan? I'm like, you told me you're fine. If a woman tells me she's fine, I say, okay. If a woman says there's nothing wrong, I say, okay. Because I live in a world, and I think that people think I'm lying when I say this. I live in a world that if I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it. It's not going to be what you took from reading between the lines and pulled apart of my words. What I say is what I say, and I tell people this all the time. If I didn't say it, I didn't say it. I'm not one of those people that's going to be difficult. I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't want to go here. I don't want to do that. I'm going to tell you that. So when somebody says, I'm good, I'm fine, nothing's wrong, I just walk out of the room and go, okay. And I feel like that stuns a woman because then they want to follow you and go, but there's something wrong. I'm like, no. You told me there's nothing wrong. You said there's nothing wrong, then there's nothing wrong. But see, I live in that world. I live in the world of you have so much energy a day. I don't have the energy to chase you or pull something out of you, man or woman. So if you tell me you're good, then you're good. And if 3 hours later you go, I'm not good, I'm going to look at you and say, nobody knew that. Nobody knew that except for your brain. So my best suggestion to everyone out there dating, tell people what you want to eat and compromise. Because I know the people in my life that are picky, Murph, and and my mom.
No, I stand behind it.
No, but see, but my mom is picky, but she'll tell you she's not. Murph will tell you to your face, I'm picky. But the good thing about Murph being picky is he's got a place right by his house that has, to this day, in my opinion, the best cheeseburger and fries I've ever had.
Barley?
I love that place. No, not Barley. The place with the tavern.
No, Timbers.
Yeah,
Timbers. When we went to Timbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes down the road.
And I'm telling you this right now, a couple weeks from now, please take me to Timbers.
We can go to Timbers.
Okay.
Well, you know what we should do? If you come down Saturday night, we'll go. If you get down here early enough on Saturday night,
yeah,
Timbers has an outdoor area that we can hang out at.
Yeah,
they have like cornhole and like the ladder ball and whatever, and there's like an outdoor pavilion with a bar and everything you can sit down and eat at. So we can go there for sure. Yeah, but I was thinking on Monday, you like hibachi?
I love hibachi.
There is a hibachi place that is, well, technically it's called a Mongolian grill, but it's hibachi.
Okay.
Only problem is they don't have rice on the buffet for the hibachi.
Okay.
You have to order it separate. But you can get like the noodles and everything with it. But they have like the steak, the chicken, the pork, whatever else you want. They also have sushi. So it's a pretty good hibachi, and it's not expensive either. It's not like going to Ichiban and paying $25 for lunch. Like,
Yeah.
figure I'd take you there for lunch after we do the show. It's going to cost us, I think the lunch buffet's $13 or $12.99, something like that.
Yeah.
That's all you can eat. So,
Well, Murph, if you take me to Barley beforehand, I'll get us some gift cards.
I'm gonna. Oh my god! I don't think we'll have Bingo. I don't think Bingo Tunes is there this time, but
Boo!
gets to the end of the month.
Boo that man.
But, now Bingo Tunes is usually at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that was ridiculous. You won twice.
$50, baby. I almost won 3 times.
I know. That was just ridiculous.
I was so close.
It's like I've never won before, and now you won twice in one night. That's just crazy. But yeah, on a different note,
yeah.
am I the only one that thinks that the bowl games as part of the college football playoff completely ruins bowl season in college football?
I mean, the New Year's Six, they have the history. The issue is all of the outside bowl games as the playoff expands. There was
nothing.
There was the notion that the New Year's Six were the best, right? There was that notion. Then the college football playoff came in and said we're going to rotate 2 out of the 6 in every year, and it gave even more credence that those were the bowls that matter. And now with all of them being in the college football playoff path to the national champion, every single one of the other bowls, you know for a fact, is an ancillary bowl. It's kind of like when you play in a bracket and you lose and you play in the consolation bracket. Essentially, all of the other bowl games are this consolation of you didn't make the college football playoff, but you could still make the postseason. But I see it from both angles. The issue is they have less meaning, but being at these and talking to the players and the coaches, okay, so they have less meaning because they don't lead to the national champion. So people consider them ancillary bowls or consolation bowls. That's one argument. The other side of it, the school gets money. They get an extra few weeks of practice, if not a month of practice. They get to play people that they get to play somebody that maybe was injured and is free to go. A few years ago, when someone transferred in and had to sit out a season, they could still play in the bowl game even though they sat out a year. That doesn't matter anymore. So, but there was that perk in the past that I want to make note of. If you have guys transferring or getting ready for the NFL, you're going to play younger players, which gives you some experience on the field with those younger players. They get great gifts. They get to go on vacation somewhere together. So there's a lot of things that the school gets and the individual gets of going to a bowl game. And I don't want to discredit any bowl because I've been to New Year's Six bowls and I've been to bowls outside of the New Year's Six. And I have enjoyed my experience of every single one of them. And I'm not saying that politically. I'm saying like the real. Like I've been to the Camping World Bowl outside of the New Year's Six. I've been to the Bad Boy former New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and I had a great experience there. The Yankees working hand in hand with that bowl is really cool, and getting to interview, the Yankees during that is, that meant a lot to me. So I can understand the importance of the bowl season, and at the same time, I can also understand the argument of it's an ancillary thing that's outside of the path to the championship. And I wonder how many bowls are going to last now with all of the New Year's Six in the college football playoff path. I wonder if we're going to see some drop off because currently there's 82 teams of 130 plus that make it into the bowl season. It's the only thing collegiately or professionally as a league that over 50% makes it to the postseason, which I know that people have a problem with, and rightly so, that like 60 to 63% make it to a bowl game.
But I don't know if I would necessarily consider the bowl games it's postseason, but I wouldn't necessarily consider it playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you're not playing, you don't have a chance to play for a national championship. Right? It's not like, making the tournament pool or the tournament in March Madness. Right? Like you're playing for a national championship.
Right.
Those other bowl games, you're not playing for a national championship. You're just playing.
Right.
Right? But what I'd miss, and it's the one thing I miss about the BCS. Every bowl game, the Rose Bowl, was always between the Big Ten champion and the Pac-12 champion.
Yeah.
Unless the Big Ten or Pac-12 champion was playing in the national championship game. The Sugar Bowl was always, I believe it was SEC Big 12, I think.
Let me see. That one I'm trying to think of. So the Sugar Bowl conference tie-ins. Yeah, because they all have conference tie-ins. Like the ACC's got them. They all got. So it was the SEC.
The ACC had the Peach Bowl with the SEC.
So the Sugar Bowl is SEC and Big 12. The Orange Bowl always had the
Orange Bowl is SEC,
ACC.
That's right.
The Orange Bowl always had the ACC, and then the Peach Bowl had like a, or no, I'm sorry. There's the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic had a group of
Big
5,
12, Big 10?
a quote unquote group of 5. Like every few years there was a group of 5. So yeah, I mean there's tie-ins for all of them. The ACC's got a bunch of them. Like conferences have their own tie-in bowls, but like of the New Year's 6, they typically were like if the winner of the ACC didn't play in the national championship, then they would go to the Orange Bowl. And then, the Sugar Bowl, SEC Big 12, like you said. So there are in the Rose Bowl, the Big Ten's connection to that, always the Pac and all that. So, I mean, I
just think the Rose Bowl's lost its meaning, right? Like the Rose Bowl has always been the granddaddy of them all. It's always been the bowl game. I still think that the Rose Bowl should host the national championship every year, personally. But the fact of the matter is, the Rose Bowl's just a playoff game now.
Yeah.
It's not like you're necessarily playing because you want to win the Rose Bowl. You're playing because you want to win the national championship, yes. But you're not focusing on winning the Rose Bowl as if it's like it's this huge important thing. Like you want to win the Rose Bowl. Players at Big Ten and Pac-12 schools, Penn State, USC, Michigan, Ohio State, UCLA, they all wanted to win the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
I miss that. I love the 12-team playoff, but I miss that. I genuinely do. You remember the USC Penn State Rose Bowl game when Saquon went off, but then Sam Darnold and USC came back and won?
Well, I mean, my thing is Penn State to me is synonymous with the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
It's like that's like every year I expect them to be there if they have a good enough season.
But all I know is that Rose Bowl game with Penn State and USC, Saquon goes off. They return a kick at the beginning of the game. I'm pretty sure. I fell asleep on the couch watching the game. I woke up. Now USC ends up having the lead. I'm like, wait, what the hell happened? Because Penn State was up by double digits.
Yeah.
But still, that game was incredible. But these guys are playing because they want to win the Rose Bowl. They want to take the roses home. They want the trophy. Now it's just another trophy. It's just another championship, like another game en route to the national championship. Which is why I think the Rose Bowl, being as significant as it is, why is that not the national championship game?
Because there's
the national championship game at the Rose Bowl every year would be amazing.
Well, and it's not that Pasadena can't host. So these bowl games, these New Year's 6, some of those host cities can have the national championship. Like the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is within the New Year's 6, which means it's within the college football playoff, and it's played in Atlanta, Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This year, the expanded playoff, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl will be at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, and the national championship will be in Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. So it stands to reason that Pasadena will...
But they're not calling it the Peach Bowl. Like, I firmly believe that
the Rose Bowl is going to be on the path, but the national championship played in Pasadena is not going to be called the Rose Bowl National Championship.
I think it should. I think it should be. That's my thing. Like, yes, that would only mean you have 5 of the 6 New Year's 6 games. Which, all right, now you got to make one up, or put in another one that's pretty significant underneath it. But if you had the national championship game, the Rose Bowl college football playoff national championship game every year in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, I think that'd be amazing. It honestly would be. Doesn't matter who's playing in it. East Coast, Northwest, Southeast, Midwest, doesn't matter. I think it'd be awesome. I think it's the way it should, because everybody knows that I don't care what New Year's Six game it is.
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, Peach Bowl, the Orange Bowl, whatever. What am I missing? What was the one that I was missing other than the Rose Bowl?
Fiesta
Bowl, thank you. Everyone knows the Rose Bowl. And you could call me, obviously this is my opinion, but you can call me, say I'm wrong if you want. The Rose Bowl is the greatest bowl game in college football.
What?
I don't think.
Can I ask you
there's
why?
a lot of people that agree with that.
Can I ask you why that one for you?
It's the history. It's where it's played. It's the only one that's been played in the same location all those years. The stadium is called the Rose Bowl. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's what they call it. I just think the location, the name, the history, the players and teams that have played in it.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that played in the Rose Bowl before now, like before the became a playoff semifinal location.
Yeah.
The Rose Bowl was probably one of the best games I'd ever played in. I guarantee it. Even if they lost.
Yeah.
Ask the guys from Penn State. Ask the guys from USC, because Penn State, USC played in it a lot. Ohio State, Michigan, UCLA, Stanford. Ask those guys about the Rose Bowl. They will say the same thing. Think of it like playing in the old Yankee Stadium before they tore it down and built the new one.
But I picture it
It's
like you
that.
said.
It's got the history of it. Playing at Fenway, playing at Wrigley,
Yeah.
playing at Soldier Field, playing at Lambeau,
Yeah.
right? Playing at the Coliseum in LA. The Rose Bowl has that significance to it. It's that significance of that historic building that's been around for almost 100 years. That's hosted this game. Actually, I think it's 100 years next year. I think it was 1925.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but and this is coming from an SEC fan. I think the Rose Bowl is the greatest bowl game in college football. That's just my opinion.
Well, let me throw this at you. By the way, when I think of the Rose Bowl, I think it should be like in my head. When I think Rose Bowl, I think
Penn State, USC.
I think USC, Penn State.
Yeah.
But here's the irony: we may never see a USC, Penn State Rose Bowl ever again because they're in the same conference now.
Yeah. I mean, you could,
but
it's not likely.
Right. So,
So you want to know something funny though? I'm playing the new NCAA game last week.
Yeah.
My road to glory player goes to Michigan, partly because I wanted to try out the transfer portal after the season and transfer to Florida.
yeah.
But I go to Michigan and I'm playing. Beat Ohio State last week of the season. Who do we play in the Big Ten championship game? Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. That was weird, man. I was expecting to play Wisconsin. I was expecting to play USC, whoever. But we played Ohio State again.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I mean, yeah, college football is changing. It used to be you get to 12 teams, you form divisions, and you were considered a reputable conference. Now, divisions are gone, and they just want to take the top two. Now, the Rose Bowl, to go off of Murph's point here, it was the first college football bowl game ever. It started on January 1st, 1902. The 11-0.
Oh, I was longer than that.
Yeah. The 11-0 Michigan Wolverines beat Stanford 49-0. And again, Big Ten versus Pac. And, of course, like you said, it was called the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl being the oldest college football game, having started on January 1st, 1902, became an annual game in 1916. So first ever one was 1902, but it was played annually starting back to 19.
When did they build the
1960.
Rose Bowl? When did they build the stadium?
Let me hit
I
you.
swear it was 1925. I could be wrong, though.
So the game held in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl Stadium, part of the college football playoff rotation. Now it's known as the OG, the Rose Bowl. Hold on one second. So that's the background history. The Rose Bowl Stadium was created
1922.
back in, it was completed in 9 months on October 28th, 1922. So the construction began in 1921, finished on October 28th, 1922, and that is exactly a week after my birthday, but I was not born back then. The stadium was designed by architect.
I should hope not.
Yeah, I know. Myron Hunt was the architect of it. It cost $272,198 to build, which is like what Pat Mahomes makes on a Monday morning between 11 a.m. and noon. And so it's the equivalent to $4.95 million in 2023. So to create the stadium in 1922, it cost $272,198 to build in 1921 going into 1922. And when you put in inflation and everything, that $272,000 and change is the equivalent of $4.95 million to build the stadium in 2023.
That's crazy to think about.
And has a capacity of 57,000.
I mean, this is just kind of my point. Like, it's the oldest bowl game ever.
Yeah.
Stadium's been around over 100 years.
1902. That's crazy.
I didn't think it was that. I was close with when the stadium opened. I knew it was like the early 20s, but I couldn't remember what year. I thought it was 1925. It was 1923.
But you know what?
1922.
The original. So the original capacity. Not to interrupt, I want to make sure I say this. 57,000 was the original capacity. Obviously, a stadium built in 1922 is going to have work on it, I would think. And modern capacity for the Rose Bowl Stadium, 92,542.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch it on television, the thing looks like it's a sea of people. Like, when you watch the Rose Bowl, it doesn't ever look like, to me, my memories of the Rose Bowl is never that there's empty seats.
You usually see one half of the stadium in white
Yeah.
and one half of the stadium in burnt red.
Yeah.
For Penn State and
Right.
USC.
And the Rose Bowl colors are white and red, and you think USC Penn State, and you see white and red. So maybe it should just be the USC Penn State bowl game, regardless of record. So,
I think the last time they played each other in that bowl game was the Saquon Sam Darnold game, to be honest.
which is crazy.
But still, that's just my thoughts on. I've always kind of felt that.
Yeah.
But it's just me. I mean, I know it every once in a while. Like the Fiesta Bowl was the national championship game, and the Sugar Bowl was the national championship game one year. This was like back pre-BCS.
Yeah.
But and I think the Rose Bowl even was a national championship site once, or for a national championship game at one point. But regardless, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on the matter. But I'm excited for the 12-team playoff. I'm at the point in my road to glory where I am in the 12-team playoff.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
Okay.
We won the. Oh God, I gotta turn it off. I don't remember who I'm playing.
So did you buy the game on like PC, or did you buy it for a certain?
No, PS4 or PS5.
Okay.
I only turned it on.
How much did it cost?
I paid for the Hall of Fame or the $100 version because I was able to get it 3 days in advance.
Okay.
But I also got stuff for Ultimate Team, which I'm not really using.
Okay.
Because
I was going to ask you.
Okay,
I haven't bought it yet, so I was going to ask you what I should buy. I have Xbox, so.
You have the new Xbox, right?
I have Xbox One X. I have the one right before the system one.
So you can't get it.
Or the Series One. What?
It's not available on that one.
I bought Xbox One X, and it's like basically new. I've used it like 8 times, and right after I bought it, in like within a couple of years, they came out with Series X, and so I have this like basically new.
You can
Xbox.
get the digital version of the Series X, I think, for like $300. It's not too expensive. All right, so listen. All right, so here we go. Listen to this. So this was the college football playoff bracket for my Road to Glory mode. I apologize if you can hear if you can hear everything. So I'm on Michigan. We were the number 1 seed. We were 14 and we were 13 and 0.
Okay.
2 seed was Clemson, 3 was Ole Miss, 4 was Liberty. How crazy is that? Liberty was the 4 seed.
So they were they were in the top 4 highest ranked conference champions, and they won the Sun Belt. No, Conference USA.
It gets better though. So number 5 was Notre Dame, number 2 team in the nation, but they were number 5 in the bracket.
Yeah.
Number 6 was Georgia. Number 7 was Ohio State. Number 8 was Penn State. 9 was Alabama. 10 was USC. 11 was Tennessee. The 12th seed, Miami of Ohio.
From the MAC.
Yeah.
The MAC
Which
attack
means there were 2 group of 5 teams
That's good stuff.
in the playoff in this.
Hey, guess what?
How awesome is that?
College football playoff. Take some notes from the video game. Please.
But what's crazy is they were the number 25 team in the nation. So I'm wondering how they made the playoff.
Because they... Well,
but because Liberty was in there too.
Right. Well, Liberty, so it takes the 5 highest ranked conference champions, the top 4 highest ranked conference champions get bowls. The 5th one can be seeded 5 through 12 based on where they're at, but they do get they do, and they have to play, but they get an automatic bid. Then the other
Wait a minute.
Then the other
So
7 get put in based on at-large bids.
I see it now. The ACC doesn't have it. Oh, wait, no, the ACC has Clemson. Never mind. Packed Big Ten, SEC, ACC. The Big 12 is not in here. There is not a single Big 12 team in this playoff.
That's crazy.
That is why Liberty is in. Or that is why Miami of Ohio is in. Because Liberty was the 4th one, and now you have Miami of Ohio. So we played Miami of Ohio, beat Notre Dame, then beat Liberty, so they played us. I mean, I kicked the crap out of them in the semifinal, but still, the national championship game is going to be obviously, as you said, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Our first playoff game was the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
We played Alabama in the Rose Bowl. I haven't played the national championship game yet, but I just wanted to bring that up because I think it was cool how the bracket sorted out, how that there's no Big 12 teams in there. How crazy is that?
That's insane.
And we're playing another Big 10 team in the national championship game.
I love
USC.
I love it.
All right, I'm going to shut this off because it's kind of loud.
Yeah, we can't hear any of it, so you're good. But
Okay, good.
the college football playoff, excited for this expansion. We're going to continue the conversation this week with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, President and CEO of Peach Bowl, Inc., Gary Stoken. And we will also have Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic VP of Communications, Scotty Rogers, both within the path to the national champion for the expanded 12-team college football playoff in its first year of its institution. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around, after you hear from the Southern Pines Brooklyn Pickle, as well as our other great partners here, you and I, Murph, will get into some cards, and we'll round out today's show where sports meets life.
I've got some stuff you wouldn't expect me to have.
I'm excited.
So it'll be cool.
Yeah, and I'm also like, I was going to message you because there was some stuff you put up on your story. I'm like, I kind of maybe want that, and I think I might want that one.
Listen, if you want stuff, I'll put it aside. I won't post it anymore. We'll make a deal for it when I see you.
Yeah, no, I know that. And I appreciate that.
Because I do kind of still want that Curry rookie that you have if you haven't sold it yet.
Yeah, he's here. Hold on. He's right here.
Okay, good. I kind of want that.
So with that being said, Murph and I will take a step aside. You will hear from the Brooklyn Pickle. And, well, Murph has never heard our Brooklyn Pickle commercial.
So now will be the first time we're hearing it.
So this is the first time for Murph. and the first time for some of you. We'll take a step aside and we'll be back right after this from the Heritage Hill Studios. This is Wake Up Call and DT and Murphy inside.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315 487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. You will find all of your sports card and trading card needs right there in one place. If you've never collected cards before, it is a great place to start. And if you have collected and continue to collect, it's a great place to continue to expand that collection that you have. Hockey, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, all sport, AEW, UFC, Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, while supplies last. Graded cards, singles, rookie patch autos, a.k.a. the RPAs, rookie cards, patch cards, numbered cards, one-of-ones at times coming through there and getting pulled from boxes and packs. And, of course, you could buy the packs that they have there and the boxes there to see what you can get. Roll the dice. People say, why sports cards? Why trading cards? My reaction? Why not? It brings you to a place where you can form this really awesome community of people. And when you wonder, is there a lot of people out there? Well, Murph and I do the Fishtown Card Show all the time, and there's a ton of people in Philadelphia. And we have GG Cards and Breaks trade nights throughout the year, and there's a ton of people here in Central and Upstate New York. It's a great pastime to give from generation to generation. And when we do these GG Cards and Breaks trade nights, and I get to see parents bring their kids every time, it means the world to me because I started trading cards thanks to my mom and my grandmas. So make a memory today at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave, Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, we're back here inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, Heritage Hill on 3149 Sweet Road in Pompey, and on 628 South Main Street at Heritage Hill North in North Syracuse. Murphalation for the nation. It's time for our GG Cards and Breaks show and tell. But before that, you heard our Brooklyn Pickle Southern Pines for the first time. Thoughts?
Oh, my God. I thought your Joe Pesci was phenomenal. I thought that was awesome. All I know is I start to hear it, and I'm like, oh, my God, he sounds like Joe Pesci, and it is amazing. That was so cool. That is a phenomenal commercial. So was that your idea or is that their idea?
So I was sitting in the studio and I was putting it together, and I was talking to Isaac, and I said to him, I'm just going to riff. I said, I've been doing impressions my whole life. I'm going to riff. I have no script. I'm literally just going to, in this moment, and I left him on the phone. I said, I'm just going to do whatever comes to mind. I'm going to jump into this character and I'm going to do whatever. And that was the first take and the only take of.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So the Joe Pesci was completely authentic, and oh my God, that's so great. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved that. I thought that was great.
Thanks.
I think that's got to be one of your best commercials you've ever done.
Well, the whole thing was Brooklyn Pickle is coming down to North Carolina. People don't know Brooklyn Pickle down there. It's a staple in Central New York, but they're not familiar with it in North Carolina. And so the partnership is called Brooklyn in the House. And I said, I'm going to do some fun things about how can you not know this sandwich shop. I said I might do some accents, and I was talking with Brian and Craig about it. And it just kind of came to me. I said, what better way to describe Brooklyn Pickle than to sound like a voice from Brooklyn and talk about it from their point of view and say, how do you not know what this place is, and get right into the character of that, and to know that once you hear a voice of that difference, that it would cause somebody's ear to kind of tune in and go, what's this all about? So I was like, who better to describe it than a voice that sounds like a familiar Brooklyn voice?
Oh, yeah. That was so cool, dude. That was great.
So, thank you. I appreciate it. The fun thing, folks, is that when we're on break, I could still see Murph picture in picture. So I got to see his reaction in real time
I
to
was
the commercial.
dying. It was great. I cracked up laughing, but it was like laughing in a good way. I was laughing because of how awesome it was.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And the BP, go out and visit them. Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, right by Pinehurst, the notable golf extravaganza that they have down there. So,
Arguably the golf capital of America.
right. So right by the golf capital of America, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Brooklyn Pickle, Pinehurst, by the golf capital of America, as well as not too far away of so many teams that we cover down in the great state of North Carolina. So we look forward to seeing you at Southern Pines location of Brooklyn Pickle. Once again, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, right there for Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst. With that being said, GG Cards and Breaks proudly brings you Sports Card Show and Tell. And as always, I will defer to Murph first.
Yeah, it's a big pile. I'm gonna save some till the end. Actually, I'm gonna start with this one, but I'll save some of these till the end.
Okay.
Just because they're bigger cards, and I think it'd be cool to hold on, save those till the end.
Okay.
I'm gonna start out with a card that is actually sold. Have not received payment for it yet, but it's a guy I've dealt with before. He's at work. He said he'll pay me at some point during the day.
Okay.
It is a raw CJ Stroud Optic Hollow. In a way, I kind of had I kind of regretted buying it yesterday because I thought I didn't give myself enough room.
Okay.
I kind of sold it back for like a couple bucks more than I paid for it.
Yeah.
The other two cards I got in that deal, I gave myself more room, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I was gonna grade it, but I'm like, you know what? Like, I saw a spot that looks like it could be a dimple, but I was very transparent with the guy. I said, I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's a dimple. I think it's more of like a scratch that was above the surface.
Yeah.
So I showed him all the pictures and everything, and he still took it. So that'll probably get out today. Prism Wemby, Victor Wembanyama.
Can you put that up again?
Looks really good. I will probably grade this.
Yeah. You know, I got my first Wemby, so I know you've had more than one, but I have one sneaking around in here. So, oh yeah, this is the one I have, the Monopoly one.
Yeah. So that Stroud, the Wemby, and this Tua, I got in the same deal.
Okay.
I paid $220 for all three of those cards. So I've got plenty of room on these two now, so I'm more than okay with those. This card I think you'll like because you covered the guy in college, I think. And then the other one is another pretty cool one. This is a dual auto, dual RPA of Will Anderson Jr. and Tank Dell.
So I covered them both.
Ah. So it's a cool card. It caught my eye as soon as I saw it. So
and
I like that one.
Tank, by the way, he does his D's like the cursive you learn in like elementary school. It looks the same. It's cool.
Oh yeah, it's great. Next one we have this is a cheap one, but Pete Rose Leaf Auto.
Oh,
that's a cool one.
That's cool.
Then we get into the PSA order I just got back.
Okay.
So I've been telling everybody, before I get into this, my grader woke up and chose violence.
I saw you write that.
Yeah. I sent 21 of these. Dylan Cruz first Bowman.
Yeah.
I got 2 10s.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I still am.
The guy was probably pissed. Like, this guy thought he was going to get all 9s and 10s and sell them all.
Well,
I'm going to give him 2 that he can
9s,
sell at top price. So,
I was not happy.
Yeah.
Walker Jenkins, I got a couple of these. I sold all my Aiden Millers, all my PSA 10s of that.
okay.
I have a graded CJ Stroud Optic Hollow.
Okay. Well,
Low-key might crack it because I might get more than what I am into it for. CJ Stroud Optic Pink. Also got a 9.
okay.
I bought this from a friend of mine recently. just a CJ Stroud Prism PSA 10. We got Bryce Young Optic PSA 10. That's base Optic. We got a pink and an 8, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I actually ripped that one myself, so that's annoying that that's an 8. Richardson Optic 10.
Okay.
Richardson Optic pink and a 9.
I like that one. Yeah.
Then we got the Wembies. I sent 5 of this card. I got 110. The Select Concourse blue.
They disrespecting you, Murph.
I got a 10. I got 2 9s and an 8 and 2 8s. I sold one of the 8s for $20, so at least I got my money back for those ones. For that one. I sent 2 of this one. Both got 10s.
Okay.
That's a different version of Select. We got the Prism Deep Space. Also got a 10.
That's cool.
Prism Instant Impact. Got a 10. And for those of you that know me, I don't really do much basketball. This is the most basketball I've ever had at any time. The next 2 cards, you're going to be like, what were you thinking? But at the same time, they're cool cards that I can make money on.
Okay.
The next one is a 1996 SPX Gold Michael Jordan in a BGS 9.
Oh, I got the Damon Stoudemire of that card. I love that card.
It's a really cool looking card.
I love that card.
We also think that it could get a 9.5 if we try to upgrade it.
Okay.
But we'll see on that one. And then we got this one. I still don't really know who he is. I know he's a good player. I know nothing about him.
Okay.
But I think there's money to be made on it. This is a Spectra. It's a thick card, so it's rare to get a 10 for a thick card from PSA. But it is a Spectra Aspiring Autograph green number /50 of Paolo Banchero.
Yeah,
and it is
I know
Pop
Paolo.
1.
Paolo was it? He played at Duke. So.
And it is Pop 1. So there's only 110 in the world, and I have it.
Look at you.
So that's pretty cool. So like I said, the Stroud Hollow's already sold, and then some more stuff I picked up over the last couple days. Paul Skeens, 2024 Bowman Auto. Yeah. This card has a really cool story behind it. So a friend of mine was with his sister at a Tampa Bay Rays game, and they decided to open a couple of packs.
Yeah.
And they pulled this.
Yeah. I saw that post that you had out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool, that one. We got a really nice looking now the rookie card emblem is kind of scratching away a little bit, so it kind of hurts the condition, but it's a really sweet patch of Baker Mayfield, RPA, Immaculate out of 25.
Yeah.
That's a really cool card.
Now that looks kind of like I remember my Nick Chubb one. I loved my patch from Nick Chubb for that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then the last one I have to show off is this Jordan Love, Donruss the Rookies auto. This is number 2/199.
Okay.
Looks to be in really good shape. My only worry is the top bottom centering.
Okay.
So I might not grade this, but we'll see. I thought the rest of it, the card itself looks really, really clean. So, yeah. I'm going to try and see if I can make a little money off of it. I'd be happy if I do. If I don't, it is what it is. But, yeah, so that's what I got as far as the new stuff. I don't think, I think I had all this stuff the last time I was on. So I had some of this stuff for a little while.
Yeah, no, and I know, like you said, I mean, you've gained stuff over time. The good thing is a bunch of the stuff came back. So yes. You're able to show us that now because it's been a minute since we did our sports card show and tell here, which we do a ton of. And so
we try and do it every show.
Yeah.
Because every once in a while we're getting new stuff. I want to see what you have coming back because you're tempting me. Does that mean you got a PSA order back?
I did not. So I don't have anything out to PSA. I do have a stack of things.
I thought there was a card that
the
guys told you that you should send.
There is a card. I don't know if they sent it yet. But I know that there is. I have a LeBron James rookie card that I found
That's right. Yeah.
sitting in my house. Just
Mhm.
my cards to show. I've had here for a minute. I know I got some things from some people, and I know that I have stacks on. You should see my stack of Jacksonville Jaguars because people are so nice, and not only GG Cards and Breaks with Josh and Anthony, but also like Curtis and just people in general that know I like the Jaguars. They'll like literally come over to my table and just put a card down, and they're like, "Here you go." And so Tim Jones, I got his autograph now, wide receiver. I got Cisco ones. But this is, I mean, Murph has seen some of this stuff. I got to go see what else I got in the box or whatnot. I don't know if you saw this one, but this is my Brock Purdy that I traded for and got a ton of value for. This is my Brock Purdy. It's my first Brock
The
Purdy.
reactive orange, yeah.
It's my first orange refractor. It's my first Brock Purdy graded anything, and it's a rookie card orange refractor 10 out of 10. And then
That's sweet.
And then the Steph, but I don't know if I showed it on here. So
I think I want that.
You know the Steph. I forgot I had this card, but the My House Pat Mahomes is a 10 out of 10. It's not a rookie, but it's a Pat Mahomes 10 out of 10. And then I have my Tua 9. I thought my Tuas would get 10s. This Prismatic.
So did I.
This one got a 9. I thought it would get a 10. This Anthony Richardson.
I thought most of your stuff would get a 10, and it didn't. That was annoying to me.
Yeah, I thought Richardson would get a 10. This is my other Tua. Now, my clear Trevor got a 10. My clear Tua rookie got a 9. My ETN.
The clearly cards usually struggle with getting 10s, but I've seen some success. So
yeah, and the thing is I do have the claim to fame, right? I do have
it's hit or miss.
I do have this one because I was told Clear would never get a 10. And in my first PSA order ever sent, that Murph sent for me, this Trevor got a 10 out of 10. And yeah, so I got some cool stuff there. These are ones that we've seen before. And the other one was my Travis Etienne. Got a 9 here, which I like this card. And I don't know if you know this, but when you did a trade with the guys at GG's, you said, I'll give them 2 graded cards, and they really appreciated it. And I brought the cards in, and I said, I'm going to give you these 2, but I fully want this one. And so I have your Vlad 10 out of 10 rookie.
There you go.
So I made a deal with them after bringing it in. And then these are ones I'm just excited about because, I mean, some of these I could definitely get graded, but Jawar Jordan Jr., I covered him in his recruitment. He came to Syracuse, then he went to Louisville, and now he's in the NFL. Blake Corum, who Rich Eisen's a big fan of. Jalen McMillan, I have this, and then I have like the base one. I might not have the other one, but I have the refractor of this. Kool-Aid, one of my favorite names. Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah. What team did he get drafted by?
Oh my goodness, I want to say Houston, and I think I'm wrong. Hold on. So
here. You keep showing. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said that because I was like, I don't think it's Houston, but it could be Houston. So I have the Bowman first refractor of James Cook,
Saints,
who I covered in college. Okay, yeah. Troy Franklin's Bowman first. This one I love because I've been a fan of him of a couple of years. I have Brock Bowers. And then I got myself a Drew Timme refractor. And then my autos from the box that I opened here. One of them is numbered to 75. So I showed these to Anthony at GG Cards or Breaks. He thought there was some good stuff in here. So yeah, I mean, I got stuff that I traded at GG Cards and Breaks trade night at the Wildcat Sports Pub where I got some really cool things. But probably one of the biggest things I've gotten recently is my Purdy refractor orange parallel 10 out of 10. And this one came from a kid who just started collecting a month and a half ago. And he stayed by my table for like a half an hour, 40 minutes, like trying to get a deal done. And so I appreciate the fact that we were able to work something out. So that was cool. So shout out to him. And yeah, so plenty of good stuff, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Murph and I spent some extra time with you here on Wake Up Call. By the way, our first ever episode of Broadcasting at Brian's, my cooking special every month at Brian's Landing. That just went today. The first episode, the inaugural episode of Broadcasting at Brian's is up with myself and Chef Tom McNerney making the chicken riggies. So go ahead and check that out on our YouTube and Facebook channels, both youtube.com and facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. Any final note, Murph, before we bid you adieu for the day?
I was going to wait till next week till we had the confirmed date, but I figured I would bring it up now. Just because I've been excited because we have the logo and everything, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to start working on it. Date unconfirmed yet. So I will get back to you with an official date. But myself and a friend of mine, Oasis Cards, are in the beginning stages of planning a card show in the Poconos. It is going to be it's the first edition of the Pocono Show.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
So when we posted the logo and everything, the Fishtown Card Show commented back that they love the logo.
Yeah.
So safe to say we did a good job on the logo. I thought it'd be cool to have like mountains in the background.
Yeah.
And so my partner CJ was able to do that, and it looks really, really good. So I'm really excited. We're looking, and it's gonna be local to me. Like it is gonna be about 5 minutes down the road from my house.
Yeah.
Provided we're still living here at the time, which, based on how it's been going with the selling the house, I imagine we probably will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We'll have a date hopefully confirmed by the end of this week. And then we're going to start doing some advertising, and we're going to start doing some promotion for the show, and have some fun with it. It's not going to be expensive for dealers. It's going to be about, we haven't confirmed a price yet, so I don't want to say that yet. But it's going to be a relatively inexpensive show for dealers. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's a really big show that, we outgrow the firehouse pretty quickly, because it's going to be at the Jackson Township Firehouse, which is 5 minutes down the road from me, right up the street from Timbers.
Yeah. Yeah. So another excuse to go to Timbers. So, but
for sure. But yeah, we're really looking forward to that. It was my friend CJ's idea, and I offered that I thought it'd be fun to help him with that, and I suggested the firehouse as an option. And as far as the location, everyone I've talked to about it so far thinks the location's a great idea, because we're going to get people from Allentown, possibly even Philly. We're going to get people from Scranton, from Jersey, and possibly even out west in Pennsylvania there as well. So we think the location, and nothing like this has been done in the Poconos.
Right.
There are no card shows in the Poconos.
And
this is going to be the first one.
You may get people from upstate New York, because
we might.
Not only me, but there's people that I talk to, and there's people that are always looking for a new show to go to.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be somewhat small.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think it'll be really, really good. We're looking forward to it. I'm going to have more details in the coming weeks here, but as soon as I have the details to tell everyone, I will.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have anybody from upstate New York come down. I'd love to have you come down and set up and do something. I think it'd be cool to have, do some sort of, well, I don't know. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
To do some sort of like mini, like a short broadcast from there almost.
Yeah.
Would be pretty cool. Maybe actively doing deals and stuff like that, which would be fun. But, I think that'd be really, really cool to do something. I'm really looking forward to it. It is probably going to be in November. That is what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
So it's a ways away, but it gives us time to plan it. Gives us, as of right now, the two dates I gave them was the 9th and the 16th of November, which are both Saturdays.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that once we have the date confirmed, we'll start to. I'm already starting to make a flyer and everything, and I think everything's going to come out awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. But I thought I kind of have been like I wanted to talk about it. I was going to wait till next week till we had the date confirmed, but I thought it'd be more fun to just bring it up now. I'm really looking forward to it. But it is going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, Murph, and with this, and congratulations on it to you and your buddy. The really cool thing is when you get to make something, anything, your own. It's so rewarding and it's so amazing. And you have worked really hard with a lot of different things. You've dedicated yourself to helping out other people, me included, and I feel that, all throughout the year. So, I mean, I can honestly tell you without doubt that I know when you put your mind to something, I know you're going to do a great job, and you're going to work really hard at it. And there's people in this world that you root for no matter what they're doing, and you're one of those people. So, to me, there's people you'd run through a brick wall for. You're one of those people that I would do that for. And so congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you and your buddy. I'm excited for it. And it's one of those things where, let me know how I could help. Let me know what I could do. And, I'm happy to do it because you're one of the good ones out there. You do things for the right reasons. You believe in God. You have morals and values. You work hard. You're honest. You care about people. And so to me, it's a win beyond how many people show up. It's a win beyond what's sold. It's to me, it's already a victory because when you have good people behind things, you want to see those people succeed. And I have a very short list of people that I trust working with, and you're on that list. So beyond everything, I'm happy that you're doing it. And really, whatever you try and you go out there and you do, when you sit with me and say, hey, man, I'm going to try and do this thing, I'm always going to support it because the type of person you are commands that, you should always have love and support around you. And I know you do have it, and you got it from me. So
I do appreciate that, my friend. We're definitely looking forward to it. I have no idea how much work it's going to take.
Yeah.
So that's the part of it where we'll have to see. But I'm willing to do it. Obviously, my friend CJ that's going to be helping me out with it just had a kid.
Yeah.
So he's being a dad right now, spending some time with the kiddo. So obviously, once he things settle down for him and he's going to be doing some more stuff for me. I told him for now, I'm like, listen, I'll take care of what I need to for now. He was helping me out yesterday back and forth. He got the logo made. He actually got a so he has like a subscription or something like that to make logos.
Yeah.
So he got a template from the website and made the logo, which I think looks really, really cool. So I love that logo. I thought it was perfect. To have the mountains in the background because everyone that knows.
Oh, you froze for a second.
Around in the Poconos.
Would you say everyone that
Okay.
knows what?
So everyone that knows the Poconos knows that it's the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the mountains in the Poconos, right? So I thought it would be really cool to have that associated with the logo.
Yeah.
Which it is, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work over the next few months. It's going to take a lot of, promotion and I think a lot of it's going to be me going to shows and coordinating with different people at different shows and offering to put their flyers out at our show. If they put theirs out at ours out at theirs.
Yeah.
Probably go to shows and promote it. I hope to have the flyer done before the Fishtown show, so that I can have flyers when we do the Fishtown show.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind we've only got one table between the two of us this time, so it's going to be a small area, but
yeah.
Regardless, we'll be fine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be really, really cool. And hopefully for the first show in the Poconos, as far as we know, hopefully it will not be the last. Hopefully it's the first of many.
Yeah. And having run a festival with 100 moving pieces, if you need some help, I would like to think I have some things I learned from running a sports and entertainment festival that featured people from in and out of this country and vendors from all over the place. So
absolutely.
So with that being said, DT and Murphy on Wake Up Call inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Murph will be back with us next Monday Happy to have you back, Murph, and I look forward
Yes,
to
sir.
talking with you soon.
Absolutely, my friend. We'll see you next week.
All right, take care, sir.
See ya.
Coming from Brendan Murphy, talking about the bigger things in life and the things that are of most importance, which is taking care of each other, and then getting into the sports world, and of course, the big honor of Murph doing his first card show coming up this year in the Poconos. So a lot of good stuff coming up here where sports meets life. Very excited to do that, and definitely appreciate Murph being a part of the broadcast, as always. So with that being said, from the Heritage Hill Studios, we thank you for spending extra time with us, as always, and on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, all around the world, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life. And, of course, you can also find us in our archives on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big time thanks to our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York, Heritage Hill Brewhouse, Heritage Hill North, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Avicoli's, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, the snack capital of the world, GG Cards and Breaks, Pizza Man, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, and Servomation, who is reimagining and reinventing the way that you have vending and choices inside of your business, college, and university. Of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. Find your Bobcats every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, covering your Bobcats here in a way that you will not find anywhere else, with exclusive coverage of men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and esports. Speaking with student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year, the Bobcat Buzz coming to you here on Wake Up Call exclusively. Find all of our content on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. And, of course, you'll find the BSC Syracuse playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Bobcats on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the Exclusive Partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday during Bearcat Time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Worldwide, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You will also find your Bearcats on our YouTube channel by going to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course find the Binghamton channel, the Binghamton playlist on our YouTube channel to make it even easier for you to connect with your Binghamton University Bearcats. And of course, you can find them on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the Exclusive Partners tab. For more information, go to BUBearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, thank you to Jerry. He said, great stuff. Love you guys. Good show. Love you back, Jer. Appreciate you. 100% of Marywood University right there between Brendan, Jerry, and myself. From inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, head out to Heritage Hill Brewhouse in Pompey, in the country, and in the city at their newest location in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corners. In the meantime, have a beautiful, wonderful day. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT. X, make sure you vote in our polls. X at Call DT. Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. God bless.